Hi, everybody. Welcome to the new normal. I'm your host, Lisa Davis, aka Litecoin Lisa, and today is Friday. So you guys know what that means. It's happy hour. My buddy Clint Westwood's joining us. I got a little woo-woo for you. We've got some crazy stuff going on. It's Friday the 13th, so why not make it a woo-woo happy hour? Be right back after this. We are streaming live for the first time over on Rumble. If you guys want to jump in the chat, if you've been missing me since I was a bad girl and got put in YouTube jail. You guys can check that out, as well as we're on Twitter, we're on Twitch, we are on Facebook, we're on Odyssey, we're on, I think that's it for now. And we're on Westwood's channel on YouTube. So we'll try not to get his channel kicked off. But anyway, check it out. Grab a drink. We'll see you on the other side. Might have some special guests joining us as well. Be right back after this. Happy Friday.
Happy Friday
The 13th.
Yes.
And Public said it's the third Friday the 13th of the year.
Order was such a good day.
3, right?
Westwood.
The Westwood. Got to do the Westwood sign. Westwood. It is. What are you, dyslexic?
Ridiculous.
You see my fingers? He says, I thought it was
Your
like
fingies.
this. Yeah, it's like this. It's like this.
Oh, I said it the right way.
Fingies. You did. Fingies.
Mm-hmm.
Ease. Oh, goodness.
I said it the right way.
It's been hot. It's been hot down there.
Fingies.
Yes, Fingies. 0 risk, 0 reward on Twitter.
That's right.
Cool dude.
Hey, so I have something else. I don't know if this is good or bad for. So there's a thing on StreamYard they just added. You guys let us know in the comments. Do you like this or not?
Hey, we got 7. Hey, there's 7 people in the chat. I don't know what that means, but
I show 15. Oh no, I
see.
show 15 comments.
Okay.
And 8 people watching.
We got chatty people.
So
I love it.
Excited to have all of you guys so far. I'll give shout outs in a minute, but look at this new feature. Wait.
I don't see it.
We can have like music.
Oh, I was like looking for it because we're so visual and I have glasses. I thought I'd utilize them. And now we get to listen to sound effects.
We can have like background music.
That's a little Hawaiian techno.
Feeding the ducks. This one's feeding the ducks.
Feeding the ducks. Waiting for my Litecoin to go up. I'm feeding the ducks. I keep looking at the price. I say, what the?
Oh, that's not very nice. Going into space.
6880. Ouch.
I like this one. I had to make a little video to do a placeholder on Rumble. I used this one because I thought it was cute. Into space. And they have a night driving.
Night driver, night rider, David Hasselhoff. No, it's night driving.
I always feel like I'm like, in a Asian restaurant when they sing like pop songs, but they're like.
What I want to see an Indian restaurant like what was it, the Raj Mahal, with all the videos playing of the the Bollywood stuff.
That
got any Bollywood music?
Yes, that was awesome. You know what's funny? So we went to Kenan and I, I tried to do a video, but he kept hitting the mic and turning it off apparently, and I didn't know we were muted for half of it. So to those of you that watched, thank you. But there was
for all you lip readers out there who
I really appreciate you. I thought it was funny that he's like thinks he's so cool. I let him do we took the fast car, the plane, the Audi R8 and to Stillwater, which is where I went to college. So I'm like in my college town in my badass car, and I'm like
with my LTC Lisa plate.
plate on the car. I'm like, this is so cool. I go to Eskimo Joe's, which is like the bar restaurant, place. Epic stories there, and then across the street from there was George's Stables, where like the Cowboys went over there and played pool, and then they went to the Weed, which was Tumbleweeds, which is farther away. But this is like on the college campus. And Eskimo Joe's.
Troy Aikman was hanging.
No, Charlie was not there.
No,
But,
Troy Aikman.
Oh, Troy Aikman.
Yeah, the Cowboy. Oh, not that Cowboy. Sorry.
No, I'm talking about.
You're talking about the Oklahoma Cowboys,
Yeah.
not the Dallas Cowboys.
Not Dallas.
Cowboys.
Ketchup.
Real Cowboys,
Yes,
not mustard,
real Cowboys.
ketchup.
I'm talking about real Cowboys. Anyway, then
Music's throwing me off.
I can turn it off.
No, it's all good.
I just thought we'd try a little something different.
Just don't get my channel banned, okay?
Well, this is all on the.
I know, but music and YouTube with me, it doesn't mix.
But these aren't like.
Until I start rapping.
These aren't like songs that have, copyrights or whatever. I don't know. Maybe we'll turn it off. How do you turn it off?
iPhone did an update last night. I did not expect it. Now I can't find the do not disturb because was getting ready to go live. I'm looking for the little do not disturb in the settings. I can turn it off so I get no phone calls and texts. They just roll. Well, couldn't find it. So anybody that calls now, I'm going to be like black screening.
Oh, good to know. I will call you then whenever I want to. No, if it's late or on family time, I usually text Donna first, and I'm like,
go through her first because I don't answer. You can ask Mitch. I don't answer anything. She's got to like handle everything.
Yeah, I call the wife.
I just ignore things. Phone gets set down. I'm like, whatever.
I know to call the boss first.
Pretty much. I just disappear.
Anyway, back to my story.
Yep.
So I thought we were like really badasses, except I let Cannon do the playlist.
Yeah.
And so we're riding through town, and I'm in my college town, feeling so bad. And he wants to listen to Kids Bop.
Oh, nice.
You immediately don't feel so cool when it's like listening to Alvin and the Chipmunks. Every song.
Exactly. They're remaking Tupac, with kids' voices.
With kids' voices. And I'm like, it's just not as cool.
No. It's kind of rolling with mama. Yeah, having a lot of fun here. Yeah, I'm feeling real cool back here.
I go, Cannon, that like that's also you can listen to the same song, but an adult who originally wrote it sings
right.
it.
The source.
When we listen to the adult version, he's like, but this is so cool, Mom. I'm like, okay. I'm making memories with my child. That's more important.
That's true. That's kind of a full circle thing. It's like circling back, speaking of circling back, this is her last day. But I mean, here you are, you're kind of full circling it right now. So you started and came back and the music and
last day is on Friday the 13th.
Isn't this when they massacred a bunch of Templars? Isn't that what happened on Friday the 13th? Isn't that why it's got the negative connotation?
I don't know.
I think it was. I can't remember the story, but other people have been saying it's good. I mean, it's actually a good day. Because it's like ties into the lunar cycle.
So that goes back to what
energy.
If we go back to Jenny Constantine, our sweet friend that we love so much.
Jenny Constantine, aka Jenny Moonstone.
Yes, but her website is Jenny Constantine. If you want to get a reading from her, you need to go to jennyconstantine.com.
I got a reading from Jenny.
Yes, I did too. And you guys know her, formerly Jenny Moonstone. She's now using her real name, jennyconstantine.com. Anyway, she was talking about on Facebook the other day, she was kind of ranting, and she's like, quit believing what people say about certain things being good or bad. Some things are a tool, and you could say this about money, guns,
people,
astrology, whatever. Some things are a tool. And the person using it, she said, look in the mirror and what are your intentions?
Right.
And that's what's bad. And so maybe this whole, were the Templars massacred because the 13th is a powerful day, because the astrology or the numerology, or I don't know. I don't know all that stuff. That's where the woo-woo comes in. A tool. Yes, Tom, a tool is a tool. And sometimes that means that can be applied to people.
That's what I
is a
said. People too.
is just a tool.
Yes.
Um,
Tool in the toolbox. Just another.
we don't
tool.
have to talk about my ex.
In the DC toolbox.
But anyway, but I'm bummed.
Cue the music.
Anyway, cue the music.
Yes, you got to start getting the theme songs, so it's just like, how Jim Cramer used to do. This is like Jim Cramer is the guy that, whatever he says, do the opposite. But you'd have like the, and all the crap, on CNBC or whatever he's on. He would have, like the sound effects and all that.
Yeah,
garbage.
I don't have all that.
Yeah,
I'm not that fancy.
Well, you know what? We could work on that, and
I don't need another job.
I know, right? You got enough going on. I'm like, I popped into your chat last night, and I'm just like, okay, I watched for a little bit, and then I'm out. I'm like, where do you find the time to do all this stuff? It's like, you can barely get me on happy hour. You can barely get me to put out a tweet nowadays. That's where I'm at.
That's because these are my magical internet friends. I had a call with someone today that was sharing something that they found that may be something I share with the community. I don't know yet. I'm going to do some research on it first. But he's like, okay, so how many hours do you put into this?
Swing it.
And I don't know if I should even share the tweet or the message that just was texted to me.
How many hours do you put into the spaces on a Friday night? Depends.
Yeah.
Until I pass out.
It depends if, it depends if someone's snoring or not.
I gotcha.
Gotcha.
Litecoin Lisa does not like distractions and interruptions and things that.
This is why I have to turn my phone off. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And coffee at 5 a.m.
Superstitions are a way to hold you back. Good point, Daddy-O. I do want to talk about this. So I see a lot of these promoted tweets, and you guys, especially if you're on my Patreon, you get to hear about a lot of that. And I talk about it on Woo Woo Wednesday some, and I share some of this stuff with one of my friends, Don D, and he's kind of a decoder in the.
Can you help a brother out? I'm like, look at this. I mean, the ice went so quick, and it's like a block in there. I don't think it melted and froze again.
So
fill it up with ice. I got drinks.
I have a friend that.
Thank you. Magic Mitch back here. Mitchy's Motivational Monday. He's getting bar backing right now.
Yeah,
we're gonna be bar hopping.
Following Mitchy's Motivational Monday. Here is a little example of his YouTube.
He gets Westwood motivated to do happy hour because he's getting some ice
on Monday after we degen you on Friday. Yeah.
Oh, DJ. Yep. Thanks for the shout out. He says. Thank you.
And you guys can meet him in
June 17th. All right, let's get that out of the way. I know I'm distracting you, and you got shit.
You were just over
stuff you want to say.
You know what?
Well, it is on my channel this week. So you know what?
Oh well, host away.
I'm hosting away. All right, I love y'all. Have a great weekend. Drink it. No. Thank you.
Hey, shout out to my friend Omar really quick. Oh wait, I'm pointing the wrong way. For my new icon, right there. And he also did a new header for my YouTube channel, and I got to pay him in Litecoin. So,
very nice. Cheers.
Big shout out to Omar from the Veritasium DAO. Very talented
Sam's Club.
individual. Thank you. If you guys
Omar,
give us a thumbs up on
big
this
shout out
video.
Way to go, brother. Appreciate it. Anyway, what were we talking about? I don't even know. It doesn't even matter. It's happy hour. That's what we do. We just ramble on. We talk about all these. No, I just started. It's hot out. It's like I didn't eat much. So I'll be in trouble. The drinking bone is connected to the smoking bone. So anyway, June 17th. Yeah. June 17th. We have a date. June 17th. That is a Friday, right, Lisa? Can you look that up? Make sure that's Friday. June 17th. 17. No, you're just the person I love to harass.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to drag you here this time.
Yes. No, wait.
Dragging you to Peoria.
Oh, it's my turn, huh?
Yep. It's your turn. Dragging you here. Not going to Oklahoma City. Not going to Texas. Not going to Florida. Going to Peoria.
Yes, I'm staying at a lovely 2-bedroom right off the square.
Right off the square in the lovely small town that we won't mention.
That we won't mention, but
We
I
won't
am
mention.
going to be in Peoria on the 17th, and I'm super excited about it. And I thought about I might come up there and do like a
Pre-game.
pre-game, pre-video,
I want to
walkthrough.
I don't have it set yet. I don't have the location set. I got a problem with myself.
Why?
Because I got 2 new dogs that I'm training, and I work during the day, and I got all this bull crap I got to do. But I'll get it.
Those dogs better be doing some tricks by the time we get there.
They'll be bringing me a Busch Light. That's what they'll be doing.
And they better be able to pour a drink. There you go.
Full-time babysitter.
And there we go. And there
I can still hear you though. Just
well, that's good. Son of a biscuit. There we go. I'm back.
No, you're not. Okay.
Yeah,
Sure.
Yes, I am. No, they're going to be doing all kinds of tricks. I'm going to start doing tricks so I can buy more Litecoin, actually, because it's so cheap.
Yeah, it's a hell of a deal.
Start juggling. No, June 17th. Don't have the exact location yet. It will be in Peoria, Illinois. So just book your tickets. I know people that have booked tickets from Philadelphia, from Florida, from North Carolina already, California already. I mean, there are a lot of people who are going to show up. They don't even know what they're coming into. They have no idea. And just down the road, somebody's coming up. So yeah,
Litecoin is $69.
$69. Reverse that, it's $69. It's like the yin and the yang. It's a hella deal.
And MWeb is rolling out.
I changed my Twitter profile today. I put the MWeb after Clint Westwood. I have never changed anything on that. It's always Clint Westwood. And I got my image that I always keep up there of JFK's grave. You know, the eternal flame looks like a Q.
Yeah.
But I put the MWeb after it because it's such an important thing, especially after what we saw the last 2 days, to where a stable coin actually did what it was supposed to do. It was stable to the US dollar, so it's going to zero. And you'll see UST going to zero because it's stable to the US dollar. So it's a precursor of what's going to happen to the dollar. So that's a good lesson of, if you're going to get into crypto, don't get into these coins that they pump on CNBC, like Mike Novogratz. You and Johnny talked about it. Don't get into these things that these venture capitalists promote. Get into sound money for the digital age. Get into something that's been around for over 10 and a half years. It's been running, unstoppable by a government, unstoppable by a central bank. You can send value anytime, 24/7, 365 days of the year, 366 on a leap year. But that's what you need to look at. Litecoin.
Yeah, if you guys missed that because I was kicked off of YouTube, I will be uploading anything that I missed this week. I'll upload that on Rumble, and then I'm learning how to do these live video streams. I don't know if I can reuse this stream.
Well, do you have it?
Rumble? Or if I have to remake a new one every time. I'll probably call Ben tonight and ask him, because
does StreamYard give you the opportunity to download the file while you're recording, to where you can have it on your hard drive? Because then you can probably upload it then to whatever platform.
Yeah.
Are you? Well, yeah. On Odyssey, you're streaming to that, aren't you?
Yeah.
Okay, so that's archiving all this. So if for some reason, like, your channel goes down, my channel goes down, all the stuff we've done is still on Odyssey. You can go out there and find it.
Yeah.
I think I've got 17 subscribers on Odyssey, so that's kind of interesting.
That's kind of exciting.
It is, yeah.
I like that number. It's my favorite number. So June 17th, we're going to be in Peoria. I'm
617, Peoria, Illinois.
Yeah.
Whiskey City.
Excited about that.
We're drinking a lot of whiskey. Don't know where yet, but we've got it. I've got it narrowed down to 3 places. Would it be helpful
if I came up there early and we went and had a talk with that gentleman?
If you want to come up here early, I would be happy to have you up here, Litecoin Lisa.
Because fuel is very expensive, but we need to secure a location for the public. And you know what? I've got an investment opportunity
for you. Just down the road, there's a bar for sale. I don't know.
Are you serious?
Yes, and you wouldn't. It's an amazing bar. It's just in a location that's very rural, but we could make it a crypto bar. It'd be like a roadhouse. I mean, you'd fall in love with it if you saw it, but I don't know. I know, I don't either. It takes some draw. Maybe we'd have a GoFundMe, and what we can do, we can have the crypto bar, the crypto club, and people can get shares in it or whatever it is. Because I'm telling you, oh man, I freaking love it. It's so rural. Okay. It's like a roadhouse, so you got to have a draw to get people in there. And if we had Litecoin Lisa there, People would come see you.
Well, I can't like live at the bar.
I know, but we could say you're coming and say, "Oh man, the flight got canceled."
That's really sweet. I really doubt that I'm that big of a draw.
Mm.
But,
you can watch me sit around, drink
but if
whiskey
we
and
booked,
smoke cigars.
it was always like crypto bar, and you paid in crypto, and we had a crypto ATM there.
Right.
And you had.
It's like a mecca of the Midwest for crypto.
Yeah. I mean, heck, there's a hemp hotel in Oklahoma City. Why can't we have a crypto bar somewhere?
That's what I'm saying. It'll be the crypto club. And I want to get a big Porky's neon sign out there. So.
Why?
Because it's kind of cool. And, it's all about the, drawing people in,
Prostitution.
The Litecoin Lounge.
No. Let's get a big American flag. Let's get like some
all these flags that I got up here.
Doesn't have to be a big Porky's thing. It does not equal prostitution. No.
It's not prostitution necessarily. It really isn't.
I thought that's what that whole movie was about.
No, it's about people having fun.
I'm pretty sure I watched it when I was little. And that's what I remember.
Huh. Watch it again. What was it, 1982
I don't
or 3?
want to watch that again.
All right.
I have things to do.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
We got Paulie P. make some deliveries. And
the History Channel last night had an amazing documentary about the Four Horsemen. If you want to watch something, spend your time doing that. Educate yourself. The History Channel also sends out comms. Don't make a face at me like that.
I was looking over here, making faces.
Make a face at Mitch. Don't make a face at me.
That's what I'm doing over here. Litecoin, sound money for the digital age.
Mm-hmm.
Look into Litecoin.
Yeah. You're going to get in trouble. It might be Friday, but don't push me.
Don't push. Don't. History Channel.
History Channel sends comms as well. So the History Channel did a whole thing about the Four Horsemen. Did a really cool educational
of the apocalypse. Those Four Horsemen.
Yes.
Okay. Mm-hmm. Pale horse.
Yeah, the pale horse was the one about disease, which I think we've been through. Then they did the horsemen about war, which were
horse.
Just had a big. All these Dems are like making bold statements that I can't remember which dumbass. I don't know if it was McCarthy.
Did you say demass?
Demass.
Demass.
There's a good word.
Yeah.
About that America's in a time of war. I'm like, you guys are just making these statements like it's the truth.
Meanwhile, in Kiev, we've got the press pool standing around drinking Starbucks.
Yeah. And meanwhile, in the U.S., we have food shortages and things happening here.
Baby formula shortages, egg shortages, which are engineered. I watched that the other day.
It's completely engineered.
They said they're not taking orders. There's a huge egg farm conglomerate in the South that there's a big supplier for, the big corporation out of Arkansas, and they're not ordering eggs. They have no orders, so they have to put them in cold storage. So basically, how do you create a shortage? You just don't bring the product onto the shelves.
Mm-hmm.
Even though there are people trying to produce them. And so you have a twofold effect. You put the people producing them out of business, and you starve the American people at the same time, make them pay a lot for when they can get the things that they need because, it's so scarce. Oh my gosh, shortage of diesel, easiest thing to refine, barely refined, easier than oil. That's a shortage. We don't have enough. Okay. All right. Whatever. You're getting scammed. That's what it comes down to. It's all a scam.
Yeah. J-Mac, bless your heart. Oh.
I gotta watch the chat. I got all these people who love us. I love them all. I want to hug everybody. Get to Peoria, Illinois on June 17th. I'll give you big hugs for free.
Lots of big hugs.
Yes, exactly. Bitcoin Trinity. Hegelian dialectic, problem, reaction, solution. That's exactly what they do. Hey, let's create a problem. Let's crash the stable coins. And then Janet Yellen comes out and testifies to Congress and says, well, we really need to regulate stable coins. Okay.
Oh, but she said that first.
Oh, okay.
She said that first.
So she knew before it happened.
She looked in her crystal ball.
Yes. She
knew that was happening.
But she's so smart, though. She
Janet was yelling about it first. Yeah. Mhm.
I mean, what an incompetent piece of work that is.
Yeah. But once again, we keep looking to they, to solve the problem that they created. Instead of Sean made such a great statement on
Satoshi Sean.
Satoshi Sean on
Yes.
World Blockchain Roundtable. That
That was a good platform. I can't believe more people didn't watch it yesterday. They need to go watch that.
Yeah,
People
definitely
posted
go
it.
watch that. I'll find the video. I will start uploading stuff to Rumble, and I'm also on Den Social. If you guys go to Den Social, I'm gonna start a layer LA, and I know I have a southern accent, so I know I say that
Liar.
incorrect in some parts of America and probably other parts of the world, and probably have an accent in other parts of the world as well. But it's LAIR.
Oh, the lair, like the wolf's
Layer,
lair.
like for a dragon,
Mhm.
because it's based on a blockchain called Dragon Chain, and
Which
they're
has been around
really,
for a while.
yeah, they're really a brilliant group, and it's a DAO structure. And I'm still trying, like, I'm not the most technical girl, so I'm trying to learn the structure of it. But they're like these guys like go, I don't know, splice genes for fun on their off time or whatever. Like, they're super brilliant.
Well, speaking of splicing genes, I'll tell you what. I'm a little heavy right now, and I've spliced some jeans lately. So I'm back to the shorts.
But I thought you were, are you talking about shorts? Now you're talking about my promoted tweets again. So all those promoted tweets, there were these weird girls doing really terrible videos. They're like, I have this dress with pockets and shorts. And these girls were doing like the most unflattering. I don't know if you guys saw any of those promoted tweets where this girl kept saying, oh, I like your dress. And she's like, yeah, it has pockets and shorts. And she's like lifting her dress up over her head. And then finally, the last one, she turns around and like goes, shorts. It's like,
I
girls
love
don't,
short.
especially
You love
if girls
short.
know they're going to be filmed, especially nowadays when everything's so everybody puts a filter on everything, or at least the young girls do, and do all that kind of stuff. They don't act like that. And so I was like, somebody's shorting something. I don't know what this means. I tried to break down the video, but I don't have that much knowledge about, like, they were saying something was long and then they said something cold. I knew it was Mother's Day. It was a mom's special mom. Well, then I got this, and I posted on the World Blockchain Roundtable and on another video that we did where I was like, and I sent it to Bix and I was like, what is this MOM? And he's like, it means month over month reports. These are these mom reports. They came out the week after Mother's Day, which was this past week. All these mom reports, month over month reports, all these financial reports came out this last month or this last week. And they are just showing like destruction of the dollar all over the world and in all these different markets. And then this short thing happened. And then Bix does a great job explaining the Luna Ponzi and what happened with that, how this Duquan guy got greedy and kind of dumb, I guess.
Hubris is a useful tool. But I mean, you look at the pride he had, like, oh, everything's going to go to zero. 95% of the coins, this is like last week, 95% of the coins are going to go to zero. And it's funny to watch them. It's funny to watch them collapse. Like, okay, yeah, it's funny, isn't it? Now that people are showing up to your house, you prideful little thing.
No, I think it's horrible. But then the guys on Den Social, when we were talking, doing the roundtable, they were like, it could have, but at the same time, when you think like the bad guys are in control and that's why this is happening, it could have been so much worse because this same scenario could have happened with the Facebook coin, with Libra.
Right.
It was set to roll out. It was
got blocked.
It was in everybody's phone. It was in everybody's pocket. It was ready to roll. But why didn't it?
Enjoy the show.
I mean, I over and over believe that we're being shown what was going to happen, but in a although it's still painful, although the dollar still has to die, I think that we're being shown what was going to happen. This, my brother-in-law that just passed away, was from Finland. And so I have a little, very small, because they don't talk about much of anything, but their feelings least of most. But he talked about, and he was in the military in Finland, because they are required to, which I think is a great idea. I think
Switzerland does that too. Don't you have to have 2 years of military service? They all
I don't
have a
know. I
gun.
know that Finland does that, and I think it's a great idea for, gives young men time to mature as well as serve their country. Like, why wouldn't you do that anyway? And then it pays for their college, like, and then you don't have student loans. Like, why wouldn't we do that? That seems like a great idea. But anyway, some things we could learn from other countries. So he was talking about, he always talked about how they hated Russians and all this. And then I'm hearing all this noise about, oh, they're going to join NATO and, what that would mean. None of this kind of makes sense to me. And so I think it's more of these veiled threats or noise maybe, or possibilities of, we're really like, we're so physically far away and we're just being fed information that may or may not be true, and pictures, and you know what I mean? Like, we don't have a clue what's going on really over there. It's like,
no, we really don't. I heard
love letters from someone, you know what I mean?
Written with a calligraphy pen, all beautiful,
right,
and nice and prettied up. I heard today, I don't know if this is true, maybe somebody can verify it, I don't want to spread FUD, but that Russia was going to cut off Finland's energy supplies if they joined NATO.
I heard that too. Yeah.
I don't know. But the thing is, they can do that. The ruble has strengthened since sanctions have been put on, because the ruble's actually backed by gold and natural gas and oil. So you got to think that, in a great reset, what happens? The people who have the assets win. That's really what it comes down to. What did Gerald Celente always say? The golden rule is he who has the gold makes the rules. And it's those things, those tangible assets that you have, if a country has those things instead of fluff, then those are the ones that are going to survive the reset. And if you look at the United States, if the good guys are in control, we're fine. Because as Bick says, we got all the gold in the world. And gold is still, kind of that natural reserve currency.
Where is the gold?
Well, it's
say
in
that because
California, it's in Nevada, it's in the mountains.
Okay, but wait. Listen, when Bick says, he believes it's in
Grand Canyon.
Yeah. There was recently, and I'm going to find the.
I say buy Litecoin because we're in a digital age. You need sound money for the digital age. If you can hold Litecoin, which is a finite asset that will not go to zero. And if it does go to zero, I will buy every Litecoin from every one of you. So I'm the buyer of last resort. Just saying. I'll give you a penny for it.
Yeah, Litecoin would never go to zero. But there was.
If it does, I'll give you a penny for everyone that you have. I'm good.
There was a article that said.
Hello, daughter. My daughter just qualified again for state and pole vault. She is going to state next Friday. Yep. Lisa says congratulations.
Thank you.
Oh, I'm so proud of her. She is amazing.
Where's the little dog?
She is secret.
You gonna bring her in?
Yeah.
Okay, after you take her in?
Yep.
Okay, thank you. You get to meet the little dog very soon. Oh,
Luck.
You got her?
She going in? Make sure that the gate is shut and the curtain hanging is on the opposite side.
Hey, that bowl over there that Tilly dragged over there, can you bring it over here and put some water in it and put it down because there's water all over?
So what I was trying to find, and I cannot find now, was an article about a.
Oh my God.
She spilled it everywhere.
The park ranger in Yellowstone being ordered to identify where the gold is.
Really?
Yeah. No, I can't find it.
It's Friday. It's happy hour. Give me this dog. Yeah, say bye. All right, have fun. Yeah. This is the latest addition to the family.
Oh my gosh, how cute.
Look at this. I mean, she's just like
Holy cow. Yeah. Adorable.
tiny little.
So what is she again?
She's a Cocker Spaniel and a Poodle mix.
A cockapoo.
A cockapoo. Look at her.
Aw.
Look at that. How can you not love
I'm
that
so
face?
glad you did not buy me another one. I'm just so glad my dream did not come true.
But you're going to come here and you're going to see both of them, and then you can
That's
leave.
Very nice. And
You
then
can play with both of them, and you can say, nope.
Mm-hmm.
Westwood, instead of 2 white dogs, 2 Malteses, he has 2 black dogs, and those black dogs stay with him. Aunt Lisa can come play with him and then leave.
Right, like a good little aunt. And I can leave.
Mm-hmm. And it went out. Yeah, this one's a cutie. She's such a little stinker. Mm-hmm. Yeah. So what are we looking for?
I'm trying to find the thing about this. Why is that missing? I know I retweeted it.
Hey, yesterday with Johnny, you were talking about the Titanic. It was J.P. Morgan, the guy that did not take the Titanic. You know, did not get on it.
You knew who it was.
Well, I know I'm like screaming. And then I'm like, but J.P. Morgan actually had interest in White Star Lines, which was the company that built the Titanic. But he did not get on the Titanic when he was supposed to get on for, you know, an excuse, whatever reason. But it took out John Jacob Astor, who his great-grandfather, John Jacob Astor, was the guy that, you know, came over and was responsible for the big fur trade and beaver hats and, you know, all over Europe. And he was the richest man in America at one point. He got taken out in the Titanic. Guggenheim, the Guggenheim Museum fame, you know, he got taken out in the Titanic. He was on it. And then there was one other one. It was the Macy's, owned Macy's department stores was taken out on it. And they were all, according to the story, they were all 3 very anti-Fed. Well, the Titanic went down in April of 1912. The Fed comes out in 1913. So you had a lot of big money that was unavailable to fight the Fed at that point, or the creation of the Fed, because they sank in the Titanic.
So it would have been like locked up in probate or whatever, even if they're.
Well, they could have fought it. I mean, you had a lot of big money, you know, New York money.
Right.
I mean, they all came from New York.
Like children or whatever believed or had been trained or believed what they did.
Exactly. And
would
so,
have been
you know,
locked up in
right.
probate or
Exactly.
whatever.
So they didn't have, you know, full control. You know, it's like a king, you know, like his first year as a king. It's like, okay, everybody else is doing all these things. I don't really know who to attack. You know what I mean? But they had the ability at that time, the power and the reputation and the control of the money at the time to probably stop it from happening. And so, you know, it's just a nice, convenient way to get them out of the way. You know, it's just like certain buildings that fall at a certain time, ships that sink at a certain time. Yeah, everything's rigged. I mean, that's really what it comes down to. And I said before the show, everything's a simulation. I think everybody. And what was it? Astor? It was. I think maybe Astor was good friends with Tesla. There was one of them that was a really good friend with Tesla. And so there's just so many connections, and there's so many good guys and bad guys kind of fighting things out behind the scenes, not getting us involved so much unless there's a war and then they burn us up. But it's just like everything's coming to a head now. Everything's kind of culminating at this point. And that's why we're all here, so that we can make a choice to decide, hey, are you going to be on this side or that side? What are you going to believe? And I think that's where we're at. I mean, we have to really make that decision and decide, what are we going to be a part of that's
Mark
real?
Twain was one of Tesla's best friends.
Mark Twain?
That
Samuel Clemens? He was, I don't know. He was.
That doesn't seem right, but this is Google saying this. So
yeah, I don't know that Mark Twain was. No. Same anti-government spirit, though. So you never know.
Robert Underwood Johnson, Mark Twain, and Frances Marion Crawford. That doesn't seem right.
Francis Marion, we talked about that, Daddy O, last week in Spaces. The Swamp Fox. He's in the chat. So names, I don't think, are coincidental. I mean, they keep coming up over and over again. And I really believe that we're on a lot of us experienced this stuff in the past, and spiritually we've come back and we're fighting this war again. It's gone on and on and on. Think of the Highwayman. You ever hear that song by Willie Nelson and what was it, Chris Christopherson and I think Johnny Cash? And anyway, the Highwayman. I wish you could play that song, but you'll get us kicked off.
But you can't. Yeah,
but you can't. So go listen to that, the Highwayman. You know, it's like I come back, and I come back again. I was a starfighter, and I'll be back again and again and again. I think that's where we're at. We decide to choose these battles to come back and fight from the magic cosmic bus stop up there in the sky, and we make the decision to come back and do the things we do right now. So anyway, proceed.
No, it's very strange.
Yeah, beautiful
very
dog.
Strange indeed. Aw, my gosh. So
Sweetheart.
So are you going to have to keep her trimmed like the...
Yeah, and that was part of the deal. I'm like, all right, we're not taking them to the groomer. We're going to do it at home. We're going to do our own thing.
Okay.
Because, I'll end up doing it. I'll be a hot mess. Grooming myself, shaving my head. I'm going to look like Daddy O with a bald head. Because I'm like, F it. It's gone. I'm not doing I ain't got time for this. They're all going to be bald dogs, and a bald-headed guy that carries them around.
It's efficient.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, I do not have a problem with that. You have to be a damn handsome man to pull that off. But
well, I don't know if I can pull it off. I might
works.
be wearing this signed Big Swear hat back here. Cover up that dome. Oh, if I can reach it. Oh, there we go. Got this in Arizona when we were down there, when you did the Warriors.
Yeah. So if you guys have not watched, they have up now. So Bix's daughter's boyfriend, who we adore, Joshy, just posted on Road to Ruta the interview with Andy Scheckman on Road to Ruta from the Roadshow. And I haven't watched a lot of Andy Scheckman's videos, but this dude is freaking brilliant. I was sat there, my husband and I watched it last night, and I was like, I'm sick that we did not go out to California. But it was really hard to do the California gig because flying out there was super expensive. It was hard to get there.
They still had the mandates, in California and the planes, and it was just
and we had to rent a car. We had to fly out there.
Couldn't get a car.
Expensive. It was just really difficult to get to Florida or to California. Sorry, opposite end of the country. Right. But oh my gosh, I would love to meet Andy Scheckman and just pick his brain and rant with him for a little bit. After watching this video, I was like, okay, I really hate that we didn't go out there for that one. So if you guys haven't watched that, go watch that on Road to Ruta. It's crazy, insane, good, and he just breaks it down. And he's a silver provider, which I'm gonna try to. You can buy it right now through Bix and get your referral link or whatever, but I'm gonna try to get hooked up because I think Bix told me that I could do that. Bix tries to support the work that I do through my channel, and he was telling me he would get that connection for me. So but Andy's literally I have this, but I don't know how long I'm going to have this. Right now he has some UK silver and a little bit, but he's literally he's talking about how he has to buy it and then have certain kinds of insurance for it, but he has to hedge against whatever because of the prices. And so because of that, he's but I literally, because I can't hedge against failure to deliver, I really don't know what's not going to come in the future. I don't know. It was pretty wild, the conversation they were having. So I really encourage you guys to go watch that on Road to Ruta. It's on the Road to Ruta channel.
Roadtoruta.com.
Roadtoruta.com.
Check it out.
Oh, wait. I actually have it I went and shared it on my oh, of course they're playing a
But that goes to show you, if you can get it in your hand right now, what is the price of it? You know, if you can get baby formula right now, how much are you going to pay for it? You know, right now we've got morel mushrooms. You know, that's a big thing in the spring, and they're like $100 a pound in a lot of places around here. I mean, and people are like, "Well, that's ridiculous." Well, you know what? Don't buy it, but people are buying it. So if you want something and that's inflation. I mean, that's your dollar not worth anything anymore. That's really what it comes down to. So if you can get what you want now, you might want to get it. If you can get Litecoin at under $70, which is $69.80 right now, that is a ridiculous price in fiat dollars for something that you can actually use. You can transfer value, and no one can stop you from doing it. It's a huge thing. And so I'm going to keep preaching it until it goes to 1 cent or 0, and then I'm going to buy it all for 1 cent. Don't care.
Yeah, no, this is insane. And we know that, silver is going to be used or is used currently in
every electronic
medicine,
device,
electronic devices, and it's consumed. So it's
right.
not just used. And then, so that's one thing, like,
it's not like gold that everybody hoards.
Right.
It gets used up. So there's really not that much silver to go around.
Right. The really gold that is here now is the same gold that was here in Rome.
Mm-hmm.
And it's recycled or reused, and it's the same gold that was here in Rome. Silver is different than that. Silver is consumed, like, in our bodies. So we will be using that. The other thing that's happening, there was a big thing in Tesla about people like, oh, you're being forced to, like, okay, just go buy a Tesla car or whatever since gas is so high. Well,
yeah,
but then they're really expensive, and now there's a weight of them because it was the nickel issue of batteries, and then also
somebody was talking about nickel at some point, maybe 2 months ago. I don't know. I heard about it.
Some guy named Clint Westwood.
Some guy. Yeah. You can still get it at the bank. Go to and I saw you talked about that yesterday. Go to your local bank, $100 bill. Some dirty fiat Benjamin Franklin, bill that they, the most counterfeited bill in history. Go take that into your bank, get $100 worth of nickel, walk out, and you've got at least $150 worth of metal, more like 200. I mean, it's just a no-brainer. It's just like silver in 1965 when they took it out of the currency. Go in there and buy it. It's a gift. At least you have something in your hand that has value. You need nickel, you need copper. Every nickel that's still made has 75% copper and 25% nickel. I mean, how are you going to go wrong with that? Just saying.
Yeah. Well, I thought it was interesting. And I did have a couple people quote you on different channels that I was on talking about the nickel. And I think it was Satoshi Shawn on World Blockchain Roundtable about the nickel thing. So that was kind of cool.
Cigars, whiskey, nickel, and lovable dogs. Can't go wrong.
That's all you need in the world.
I don't need much. I really don't. A little lovable dog to cuddle up next to. That's important. So anyway,
we've had the grand dog here for a few days, and Charlie's been spoiling her rotten, trying to set boundaries. I'm like, and it'll be the reverse when it's the grandchildren. I will be the spoiling.
I know. Charlie's spoiling the dogs, and Lisa's spoiling the children.
Yeah,
gotta love it. It's a spoiled house. Whenever I go to Oklahoma City, I feel like I'm spoiled every time I go to the Davis household. So
that's sweet.
Even Westwood feels spoiled. So it's not just dogs and kids; it's Sasquatches too.
Well, we love having you here. That's what I was talking with a friend of mine earlier, and I was like, yeah, we're so excited because, Charlie's been working. He loves working on the yard. Like, that's his thing is like.
He can come work on this yard if he wants.
Yeah, we have the best grass in the neighbor. Oh, no, he would cut out all your grass and put in the kind of grass that he wants. And it would be insane. Yeah.
Keep him there because it's way too much to handle.
No, yes.
Keep him busy for the next decade.
Yeah, it's insane what he does. Like I have pavers in front of, so he redid the sidewalk in front of that side of the house, but he doesn't like how the pavers are done in front of my office. And he's like, well, they didn't put a barrier down underneath. He's like, so I think I'm going to rip all that up and redo it. And I was like, no one can even see that. Like it's like
But he can see
the
it.
ground is up like this, and then there's like a retaining wall, and then there's like a little sidewalk thing that goes around to the back of the house, and no one can even see this. And he's like, I need to rip all that up and redo it. I was like, I don't understand. Like, it's fine. It looks beautiful. It's really fine. But he thinks he needs to redo it and make it perfect. Anyway, so he's working on the backyard, and my daughter is getting married this summer.
Yay.
We decided not to have a wedding, and I'm fine with that.
And you do have someone, an officiant, who can marry them?
Yeah.
They have somebody
they're
lined
not
up?
interested in that. So
I mean, to sign the paper, you know what I mean?
no,
don't have to do that.
Yeah, I have several people.
Okay, good. Because I can do that if you want me to. I'm just saying, I'm out there in case you need me to come help out.
I can offer that to them as well. I have, several friends, several pastors, several people.
Okay, good.
They mostly just, we were trying to plan this thing, and we had a location, and Nana bought a beautiful dress. Nana and Papa bought a beautiful dress for Carly, and then every time we started planning, Carly started crying, and so it's fine. I only have one daughter that I would have an opportunity to plan a wedding, and I'm really not. It's more important that she has a wonderful marriage than has a beautiful wedding. That's not what's important.
Like Queen Lisa, I would be happy to have you come and plan my wedding for my two daughters if they ever get married, which they probably won't.
Your wife.
They're not going to, but they're more than welcome to
your
come.
wife.
Well, I'm sure she'll be happy to have some help.
But I would be happy to offer my services for free and give my opinion and help in an overbearing way. No, I'm just kidding. But anyway, so I was like, no, it's fine. Pout. No, I'm just kidding. So she's just always been like a little free spirit and very minimalist and all that. So it's just overwhelming to her, and that's not what's important. She just cares about people, and she wants everybody to be happy. And
well, good for her.
Yeah, and
it's
the thing and the event is not what is important to her, which I'm proud of her. That is how I raised her. But I still
it's the new normal.
One ice sculpture.
One ice sculpture.
No. So no.
We could all throw ice cubes when they walk down the aisle, afterwards.
No,
that doesn't do it.
She just wants, and I'm proud of her. That is who she is, and I really am proud of the whole person that she is. And they're amazing together. They're great.
I met them when I came out there in March, and they're great people. Yeah, they're awesome to be around.
But she said, we'll just come hang out in the backyard and do like a little family thing afterwards. And that's really what I want. I want it to be like more intimate and real and like just family. And I was like, okay. So then I was like, well, what flowers do you want? And so she's like, I want the little flowers that I had outside my bedroom window when I was a little girl. She wanted these pink wavy petunias. And so then Charlie goes and buys 80 of them and plants them like
he's getting ready.
All in the backyard. So anyway, the backyard looks amazing and all that. So he's like, okay, let's invite people over and have a great weekend. And I was like, that sounds fun. And I was like, but like, we don't really have any people locally that we hang out with anymore because most of our like local friends think we're crazy or.
Well, that's why I don't leave the house much.
Yeah. Most of our like local friends, like we're now homeschool and they've all either taken a jab or, like we don't, or we start talking and they're like, you make us really uncomfortable talking about the dollar's going to die because we all want to.
Because my retirement and everything's tied into
We don't want to be responsible for our own wealth and we don't want to think about protecting ourselves and you know what I mean? So it's just kind of awkward. So our magical internet friends are really are.
We could have a virtual wedding. We could have a happy hour wedding.
Yeah.
You know, I don't know.
Well, for me, it's about the kids. So they can do
If they're happy,
them and they're happy and they have their friends and
yep.
that. So I just told her like, okay, whatever. I'll do like a little shower and have Nana and my sister and, girlfriends that are close. And then Cannon thought it was horrible that you get married and we were trying to explain to him he goes, well, can I come to the shower? And I was like, well, you probably don't want to be there. I said, it's kind of for girls. And he's like, why? And I said, well, because we give like underwear and stuff. And he's like,
huh?
You get underwear for getting married? It's like, that's awful. That's terrible gifts for getting married. And then I said, well, that, or you get like, presents for your house, like pots and pans and, like mixing bowls. And he's like, these are terrible gifts.
Yeah, exactly.
He's like, you should let me pick presents for them.
Well, he might be onto something.
So underwear and presents for your kitchen are terrible gifts for getting married. And I was like, well, Nana gave me Litecoin when I got married. He's like, that's way better. He's like,
well, there you go.
He's like, those are terrible gifts. Yeah.
Here's my registry. And then you put up a QR code. That's it.
Yeah. I thought it was.
We're done. We're done here.
Yeah. So Cannon's the smartest boy in the room. Litecoin is the best gift for.
It's sound money for the digital age. It is the right coin as a means of exchange. Cheers to that. That's a big weerism. Litecoin is the right coin as a means of exchange.
It's also the best wedding gift because it will not only.
It's great for wedding gifts too.
Last them over time. It will red pill them or orange pill them or blue pill them.
Silver pill them.
Silver pill them. Whatever color of pill.
You're gonna have so many pills. You're gonna have so many pills. You're not gonna need any more pills. The rest of your marriage.
Yeah. Oh, hey, I want to give a big shout out to AJ Greer. He sent me the most beautiful gift today.
It's a Lucio Paletti.
It was probably better than a Lucio Paletti.
Wow.
To be honest. And this was thanks to Bix and Amy Weir, I found out. Why is it not? It's also not showing up on my Twitter feed, which is super weird. Something's wrong.
You think?
Why is that not showing up? So I totally tweeted this out and said, thank you. And I posted it. And it is not on the, oh, there it is. Okay. That was, you guys know me. I'm
3 hour energy.
Cranky about it. So look at this, how beautiful this is. So Bix and Amy helped pick out what picture. And this is actually the picture that, so I take this picture and I don't put my face, but I just use Mia's face as my wallpaper on my phone. And look at how much more alive and beautiful and brilliant she looks in his pencil drawing.
That's crazy. I mean, I saw that today and I'm like, wow, that is amazing.
Yeah.
It really is.
And so he has, this is part of his gift back. He has something called Random Acts of Kindness, RAK, that he does on his website. If you guys go to ajgreer.com and he does Random Acts of Kindness. And so I got this morning in the mail at my P.O. box. If you go to my website, litecoinlisa.net, you can send me stuff on my P.O. box. And I went to Hobby Lobby and I'm having it like professionally framed. And he's like, oh no, you can go to like Home Goods and get like a $20 frame. And I was like, no way. Like this was such
I want this to be nice. I want this done
precious
right.
gift. Yeah. And so that just meant the world to me. And then he said he could make sign numbered copies. So I might do some sign numbered copies for we're going to do the Team Mighty event this year. Since we had some disruption in our family with multiple deaths, I buried 2 brother-in-laws in 2 weeks. The last 2 weeks, my sister's husband and my husband's brother in the last 2 weeks. So we've pushed the Team Mighty event to August, and Crypto Confidential is helping us celebrate that. We're going to do a happy hour event and then also do a fundraiser side event or opportunity for Team Mighty in August. So we'll do that, and that's going to be a really positive time. And I think I'm going to auction at least one of these copies off. I don't know. I'm trying to figure out how to do that, but I just think that was really cool and awesome, and I appreciate Amy and Bix for sharing that, and AJ Greer for putting all that time in to do that. I thought that was super amazing. So you guys check out his website. He said don't promote his website, but I'm going to anyway.
Too bad. Tough.
Too bad.
That's the way it is. That's what we do.
Look at these
people do good things.
people. Yeah. So these are our magical internet friends.
Yep. As opposed to those friends from high school that you don't talk to anymore.
Oh, Random Art of Kindness. Thank you, AJ.
Oh, that's nice. I like that. Random Art of Art Act. You know, you got to put the glasses on. You know, it's like, oh, yeah, it's RC. You know, it kind of blends.
Random Art of Kindness. Yes.
That's pretty cool. That's awesome. Thanks for being here. Thanks for doing that.
Yeah, it was super cool. Like, surprised me so much and made my day. So, super cool. So
everybody's talking about the crypto dip and all this stuff. I got one question for you, because I like to bring it down to real life and how things are real, tangible. All right, if you're running a business, you're an employer.
What dip? I'm so confused.
Oh, the crypto dip, you know, all the freaking coins going down. What are you going to buy? Oh, I'm going to buy this. I'm going to buy some Luna at a penny. And now it's God knows what, fractional. Okay, so if you're an employer, you're running a business. If you have to hire employees, which you do, it's the hard thing to do. If they were cryptos, you know, so you have to hire a crypto to work for you at your business. What crypto are you going to hire to do the job? You're going to hire Luna? You're going to hire UST? I mean, think about that, though. What would you hire? Who would you hire if it were a crypto to work for you? It's just a thought, you know, something to throw out there.
That's interesting.
Yeah, I like to
read their white paper as a resume.
Daddy-O inspired me because he made a comment in my video today, and I'm just like, okay, and I responded to him, and it triggered something in my head. I'm like, yeah, if I'm running a business, what crypto do I want working for me? And of course, you know which one I would pick.
Litecoin.
Yeah, because it always works. It's always consistent. It's boring, but it does everything it's supposed to do, and you don't have to worry about it. It's just, you can walk out of the business. It's a done deal. It's going to work. I mean, it's the employee of the month every month. And, you know, you think about that, though. If you're the employee of the month every month, most of the other employees probably don't like you. They're like, freaking suck up, piece of, you know,
overachiever.
You know what I mean? And that's why you got Bitcoin maximalists hating on it. And that's why you got all these other, you know, Litecoin, crap coin, altcoin. It's like, yeah, because it just works and you're just jealous. That's really what it comes down to. I'm just saying, you know, it's real life right there.
Yeah.
Just my perspective.
Blind Dave brings up a good point. He says, depends on the job. Some do different tasks.
Right, exactly. It depends
point.
if you're in a strip club, you know, versus, you know, an actual, you know, yeah. I mean, you know.
I don't think that was his point, but.
No, but it depends on the business. But if you want something that just works and does the job and you don't have to worry about it and put it on autopilot and just walk out and go golfing, go have a cigar, go have a drink at lunch.
Well,
you put Litecoin to work and you don't have to worry about it. It's done. It's a done deal.
Well, I think Johnny brought up a great point with what's going on right now, whether and how regulations come or not, that Litecoin with privacy coming with MWeb,
Mhm.
is going to be one of the last ways that people can legally buy Bitcoin with the KYC issues and all those kind of things.
And it may be. And, I'll take it one step further. I tend to be more rogue and more on the fringe. I don't care about Bitcoin. I really don't. Because if Litecoin can do everything that Bitcoin can do and better,
Then just
and there's
stay
only,
in
I'm fine with Litecoin. Why do I care about Bitcoin at that point? Why do I care about a toxic community that wants to push an agenda on you?
Yeah.
And that's where I'm at. I mean,
Well, I guess
seriously.
that's a great point too, because then if you go back to the merge mining at some point,
Dogecoin and Litecoin and Digibyte, to me,
some
I'll tell you what, those
point-
are my big three.
at some point, Bitcoin is going to, or people are going to not be incentivized to mine Bitcoin, right?
Well,
But
I
they
mean,
would always be incentivized to mine Litecoin because of Dogecoin and Digibyte. Well, not Digibyte necessarily.
not
but
Digibyte
because
necessarily, right?
but because of Dogecoin.
Because Dogecoin and Litecoin are dual
And
mined.
that's where like
And
that
Charlie
whole
Lee
Elon
made that
thing
happen.
is weird.
I mean, exactly.
I don't understand it.
I cannot pay for anything with Bitcoin. And I had an experience a week ago where I was helping somebody transfer some Bitcoin and I put the normal fee on it. And it took half a day to get there because the mempool was all filled up. And it's like, dude, seriously? I mean, you're sitting there sweating it and worrying about it. And I'm like, this is not the kind of money I want to use. I want it to happen. I want it to happen right now. And Litecoin will fill up at some point. It will become a store of value because the blocks will fill up. But Mimblewimble opens up more blocks on the side chain. JMac, you had a question. You're like, okay, this Mimblewimble thing, how does this work? Here's my analogy of how Mimblewimble is. The Litecoin blockchain does not change. It keeps doing what it's doing, and it keeps working like it's working 10 and a half years. It keeps sending transactions like it's always done. But now that fast motorcycle that goes down the road and goes where you want it to go and gets to where it needs to be, it now has a sidecar. And that's called Mimblewimble. So if you opt in to say, hey, you know what? I want to make this transaction private and confidential. We're going to throw it in this sidecar. And guess what? Every town that it goes by, in the 2.5 minutes that the block goes by, the Litecoin block, people throw in their transactions into the sidecar. And then when they get at the end of the block, they throw those transactions out. You don't even know who sent it, how it is. And it does not slow down the blockchain. It just gives it a little more space to that motorcycle that's always going down the road. You just attach a sidecar to it, comes out with every block. You can choose to opt into the Mimblewimble sidecar if you want to, and it gets all kind of mixed up and blown around in there, and then it gets where it needs to go. So it's still your Litecoin. It's not one of those transactions where everybody's going to opt into it. No, you can opt in to send it via Mimblewimble. It gets there. You can say, no, I don't care. You can be the receiver. It doesn't matter. And that's the beauty of what has been done here. And that's why Charlie Lee is so forward thinking and has envisioned a sound form of money for the digital age. No one else has done that. Litecoin is liquid. It's on every exchange, every ATM. Anybody can go get it. Anybody can use it. It's on every exchange. And now you've got the ability to opt in and say, you know what? I don't want anybody to know where it came from. I don't want to know anybody to know how much it is. Let's put it in this side block that goes along with every block that gets mined on the Litecoin network and just move forward. People realize that. When they realize that, May 19th, when it's fully implemented and activated, it's a showstopper, absolute showstopper. It's the best form of money out there, the best form of digital money, better than Bitcoin can ever be unless they implement it. But even then, they've got slower block times. I mean, it is just a better form of money. Absolutely. And so that's why I'm just like, I don't even care about Bitcoin. It's way undervalued. I'm not going to pay full price, for this steak, that somebody, is selling for $300 on the plate when I can go over here and get it for $20. It's the same piece of meat because I know where it comes from. I know what the fundamentals are. I know what it's that cattle's been eating. I go to the local farmer and get it. And that's the difference. Just saying. And I don't eat,
Well, yeah, and you don't even eat.
And I don't even eat meat.
So great explanation for Mimblewimble. I think that's really helpful to people. I think this is a really interesting and philosophical kind of question. And since it's happy hour, we should do a little philosophical question.
Do it. And I'll tell you right now, I'll look you right in the eye. I'll take the glasses up and I'll tell you right now, I have no Bitcoin. And there's a reason I have no Bitcoin.
Wait. I'm not even there.
It's because
yet. You're
Litecoin
poking
is
your
sound
hands,
money.
you're going to get cut off. Hold
All
on.
right.
You're going to end up disconnecting yourself.
I know. I almost
I'm
did.
not saying this. So this guy says, why do you chase wealth past a certain point? He didn't say certain. I said I added certain. He says past a point. Looking at your houses, which I don't know what he's saying, looking at your house, you seem set. If you had another 1 million,
I have never had 1 million.
would it change your life? So theoretically, for everybody in the chat, if you had 1 million, would it change your life? But
It's like winning the lottery kind of question. You know, how does it
would
change
the lottery
your life?
change your life? I think that's a great question, though.
It is.
And I think a lot of us, I know for me,
I need some help.
and I think all of us.
Some ice. Yeah, I'm sorry. I'm talking to Mitch. He's like,
wait, should we turn on the music if you need a refill?
Yeah, get the music playing. Get the music playing. Mitch, Magic Mitch, right here.
We need a refill. Refill music. So
it's a poll.
Okay.
So we can break it, or I'll bend it. Look at this.
Oh my god.
Oh man, I need another one of these too.
Okay.
Sorry.
So back to the question.
Philosophical.
If you had $1 million, would it change your life?
Yeah, remember that first card you pulled for me, Lisa?
Yes, it's a burden.
It's a burden. I really don't want it.
Yeah.
I really don't. I just, man. Yeah, just. We're good. Thank you. I appreciate you.
I think that it would enable us to do more to help some other people. Like,
I would go on the road more because I would be able to, like cover more stuff here.
Yeah.
I mean, it would help. But here's the thing. I've never had $1 million.
For you, it's more about community with.
It really is.
Helping other people with community in the way that you help the community. For me, it's kind of the same way, but I do mine in a different way with nonprofit stuff of helping community in that way, which I'm really excited. We're doing, we've restructured Team Mighty through, and we had some attorney bills and whatever, but thankfully, like Road to Ruta stepped up in a huge way. And we're recognizing them this year with being the Team Mighty champions for that. And that has been able to help us. We're going to be able to help more nonprofits learn about cryptocurrency, and whether that's through setting up nodes or other things. Like, I'm really excited about that and helping them get into learning about those opportunities. And I think that kind of thing, like when you have the tools, like, can you imagine, like, so someone with a big heart and knowledge about DeFi or cryptocurrency or how broken the current system is that they want to enslave us in. Okay, if you can be free from that, can you imagine what somebody with $1 million, and let's remember that $1 million back then used to be a lot more than what it is now.
Right, $1 million right now, you think you're going to retire on that.
Yeah.
And
I don't know that you can do that anymore.
And it's not just that. I mean, I think this goes to the point. Either you're doing it right now or you're not doing it right now. And there are people who say, well, if I had $1 million, I'd go do this. It's that song by, what is it? I don't know, Goo Goo Dolls, or I don't know who it was. If I had $1 million, I'd be rich. This is 20 years ago. And like you said, inflation now, give me a break. But I'd give it to Ukraine. No, I would not. So you can either do what you're going to do right now if you have no money and keep doing the same things you're doing, and that just gives you more tools to keep doing the same things you're doing, or you're never going to do it anyway. Let me rephrase that because that wasn't very well. You're either doing what your life path is right now when you're poor, or you're never going to do it. I don't care how much money you have. It doesn't matter. You are who you are. So you're either out there supporting people, having nonprofits,
Right.
helping people now, or you're not. And
Right.
the $1 million isn't going to make any difference at
That's
all
a
and
great
get you
point.
off your butt to go do those things.
You're
It's just going to
either-
help you to do
it'll
more of
either
what you're already
amplify what
doing.
you're currently
Exactly.
doing, or
Right.
or
And
you're
so-
not doing it anyway. Yeah.
And so, yeah, I mean, you look at all this and you think, oh my gosh, well, that's a nice place. Well, you know what? It used to be a dirt floor 4 or 5 years ago. Had the money to put the concrete in, put the concrete in. Have a great buddy like Mitch that can come out, a carpenter that can help me build stuff, and not even, really help me out like a brother would do, and to get this place going so I can have meetups. And so it's just like, that's what I choose to give my energy to. I'm doing it now. If I had $1 million, would it change my life? No, but it would change other people's lives, because I'm going to be the same person that I am today. I'm going to be the same old curmudgeon that doesn't like to leave the house, that just wants to pet the dogs and hold the dogs and smoke cigars and drink whiskey, because that's what I do. I don't care. But will it give me an opportunity to help more people? Absolutely it would, because it's really not about the money. And see, this is what I always preach. It's just that you got to know what your level of freedom is. You got to know why you're here on this planet. You got to know what your goals are. And when you meet those goals, if crypto can make those goals happen, you better check off the boxes. And you've got to know that before it ever hits. You see all these people that win the lottery, they go buy multiple houses and, oh, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do that. And then they're broke. They don't know who they are. Know who you are.
Well,
And then
or
when
then
the
the
money comes,
multiple
then you
houses
can-
actually put them in debt.
MC Hammer. He's
You
like,
know?
oh, I had all this money, and then the tax bill came. It's like, oh crap, I got to pay taxes and all that. Yeah, you do. Unfortunately, that's the system you live in. And so when you got 5 houses and mansions all over the place, that's what you. How much land does a man need? Go read that story by Leo Tolstoy. How much land does a man need? Comes down to about 6 feet underground. That's about it. So do what you can do here. You ain't gonna take it with you.
Hey, so what do you think about speaking of what a man needs? So today, Elon Musk kind of pushed back. Is he doing the art of the deal where he's like, oh, we got to put a hold on this? Because
I think so.
What about these fake accounts on Twitter?
Yep.
Is he calling out that maybe our census is fake? Maybe there's not as many people in the
Well,
US
he's
or
calling
on
out
Earth.
fraud. He's calling out fraud at some level, because we all know there are bots on Twitter that are just garbage. And you see the reports of people sitting in sweatshops basically liking, retweeting, and sending stuff, and then the algorithms that put out tweets, and it's like, this isn't a real person. And so that, by bringing that out, it's like, all right, I think he knows they're desperate. I think he knows they're going to go under, and he's buying them. And so now, yeah, I think it is an art of the deal thing, to where it's like, okay, we agreed on 44 billion, but yeah, you really weren't honest about all the subscribers you had. Some of these, I need a 5% haircut now, and by the end of it, he's probably going to pay 30
people
billion.
who like buy followers and stuff.
They do.
Yeah, I've heard about some of those people.
Yeah, I know, right? And so those aren't real followers. Those are people or entities or sweatshops or algorithms that, just follow him. And it's like, well, who are these people? What are these things that follow? So he's probably trying to get a better deal, but he's calling it out at the same time, so it is an art of the deal thing.
Oh, I put 618 on here, but that's 617.
Enjoy the show. So yeah, Friday, 6/17. It's a Friday. That's when we do happy hour on Fridays, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so that's when we're going to do the happy hour in
website.
Peoria, Illinois.
Peoria.
I know, it's Peoria. Peoria, Whiskey City, baby.
Yeah.
Look that history up. So we're going to be drinking whiskey in Whiskey City. Even like Quinn Lisa agreed she's going to have a little bit of whiskey in Whiskey City.
I'll
She
have
has
a
to.
swig.
Just a little swig.
I'll have a little swig.
Give a little swig. Yes, exactly. What you drinking today, Lisa?
I'll give you 3 guesses.
All right, I'm going to say, I might have an aha moment here and guess it. I'm going to say it's probably Tito's vodka.
You're correct,
I
sir.
am. You're going to be drinking maybe a little AHA. You still drinking AHA?
You're correct, sir.
All right. When you come to Peoria, Illinois, you're going to have some right here. This bottle. Watch this. I'm going to stretch. I can't do it. Stand by. Oh, I got Mitch. Mitch has got my back.
You got
He's my bar
Magical
back.
Mitch.
Magic.
Look at that. Peoria, Illinois on the bottle. This is gin distilled with organic grains from Illinois. It's really
Okay.
good gin.
Oh, grains. I can have grains. Yeah. I
Really
just
good
don't have
grains.
Potato.
Didn't no potato
Who
vodka?
who was making the statement the other day? Was that Uncle Cliff or somebody said something about how like the humans couldn't eat potatoes and then all of a sudden
Yeah, it was Cliff. He said all of a sudden, the potatoes which used to be poison happened to just work and become food, and there were 3,000 varieties of it.
and then
Because
so I am allergic to potato vodka. And now all of a sudden, post the vid, every time I try to like eat, I don't know if anybody else is having this. There are certain foods and things that I try to eat and smell, which I've always, my family called me like super nose because I can smell things.
5 a.m. coffee on the road doesn't work
No
for you.
5 a.m. coffee.
No.
No coffee before 5 a.m.
No.
So I'm very sensitive to smells, all that. But I cannot take there's certain foods that just out. Everything smells bad to me. Not everything, but like anything pretty much. Like I used to love onion in any of my food. It all smells weird to me.
There's a reason for that, though. Keep going. I'll come back to that.
Really?
Yep.
Then I made scalloped potatoes the other night. Can't eat it. I can't think of what else. There's certain things like I can't eat anymore. It just all smells like chemicals to me. So there's these certain things now since the vid and I'm guessing it's since the vid. I'm putting that on there. I don't know if that's what that is, but it's since the last 6 months to a year. That it's since Florida, so it's since December that I cannot eat certain things without just this horrible chemical smell.
My thing is, and this is just my personal experience, I fasted in the past. I mean, I've gone 21 days at least, probably more than that without eating food. I mean, no food, just liquid. I mean, just nutrients, liquid. And drop a bunch of weight, but it's really not about that. It's about reconnecting. Jesus goes out 40 days and fasts, that kind of thing. That's really what it is, because you will
call it whatever you want.
You will become more spiritually connected if you don't eat food. And then what happens to you when you stop eating that stuff is when you start eating again, your body's like an animal to where, you see dogs, they're like, and they just won't eat it. They're like, no, I'm not eating that. And you become that way because you're more connected, at a different level to where when you smell certain foods, you're like, oh my God, that's poison. And it is. So when you're in that natural state, when you reset away from all the garbage, all the McDonald's, all the artificial food, right. But you know what I mean? All that stuff that they feed us, when you're away from that, for usually it takes about 2 weeks, really a week is my experience. But if you go 2 weeks, not smoking, not drinking, not doing whatever, and you come back to it and you're like, your body just like, no, I don't want any part of that. I realize it's poison and I don't want anything to do with that. And so you become much more awakened and spiritually connected. You really do. Well, okay, here's the thing with onions. They absorb toxins. So if
they're
you're
mostly
not
water.
Well, if you're not getting onions directly out of the garden, once you cut those, they start absorbing everything from the environment. So if you're going to like fast food restaurants where it's been chopped up.
I'm just at the grocery store, but I mean, I cannot, they're terrible.
Well, they probably are. I mean, where are they coming from and what is it? But once you cut it, it will start absorbing the toxins. It's like a sponge from the atmosphere.
Because there's just so much water.
That's what they do. I mean, so, when we cut an onion and if we don't use it, we don't throw it out, we don't save it. We just let it sit there in a bowl on the counter so it can absorb the toxins in the atmosphere, because it will. I mean, that's what they do. So, I mean, if you're getting onions
Yeah,
that
I
have
cannot.
absorbed toxins, then you're like, you know it.
So do you think that there's more toxins right now than ever, or I'm just more sensitive to it right
I
now?
think you're more sensitive. I've seen you becoming more sensitive since I first met you. I mean,
So
you're
Estelle told
on
me
that
the
path.
same thing.
Yep.
She's like, Lisa,
Yep.
my
No doubt.
spirit guide told me that you're going to have to start eating better, whatever. And I was like, I really don't want to hear that.
Yeah, I mean, you're going to have, here's what you need. You need organic vodka with organic grains, distilled here right in Illinois. You need to have real pure stuff. I mean, it's going to cost more, but
Yeah. No, I can pretty much eat like even my jambalaya that I used to eat all the time. Like this one brand, I can't eat it. It tastes like chemicals.
Think about
And
where
I'm sure it's all the preservatives that are in the bottle.
everything, exactly everything they put in it to make sure it gets from God knows where on a truck to this place to that. It's not fresh anymore. It's not real. It's not directly from the earth, and you're becoming more sensitive. See, you're becoming the person you were born to be, Lisa. I've seen it in the last 3 years. I mean, I've seen you evolve.
That's really inconvenient.
And I'm devolving. See, I was at that point, and now I'm going the other direction to where I'm like, a hot mess.
Yeah, that's really inconvenient because I can't grow it. I can grow some flowers, but I don't have anywhere to grow any food, and I don't know how to grow anything. So I got to figure out how to grow some things to eat.
You don't need a whole lot to eat. I mean, seriously,
hungry.
to sustain yourself, you don't need a whole lot of food. You really don't.
Yeah.
You really don't. I mean, just get things in high nutritional value.
Well, and I don't notice it when I will get some like organic spring.
You're not hungry.
Mix, like I have a little salad and I'll throw some like organic chicken on there, and I don't notice anything. I don't have the funk.
Right. And the thing is, when you eat toxic food that has no nutrients, you're always
Remember
hungry.
when I went crazy with the thicken?
Yes, I know. Trust me.
I'm telling you, that
I know.
Shit is bad for you.
I heated that up. It's because it's like, what am I going to eat? I need something convenient. Here I am in Arizona.
It's bad for you.
I know it is, but I don't buy it here. I know.
That is that same chemical.
It's toxic waste. I mean, they're just forming it into chicken. It's like getting a 20-pack of McNuggets. There used to be 50 packs of McNuggets at McDonald's. 50-pack. Imagine
That's
this.
Wrong.
50-pack.
Yeah.
Can't afford it anymore, though.
No.
You have to have a GoFundMe to get a 50-pack of McNuggets. It's like $20.
It's so wrong. Yeah. I've got to figure out I think the whole, and maybe that's why I was introduced to like the whole, because we don't even smoke weed or do any of that. Like, I don't like that feeling. I don't like any of that. We did use
kind of the worst feeling, isn't it? And a lot of people like it.
I don't like the feeling
all for it.
all that, but the topical was very helpful when Mia was in pain.
Yep.
And I've used that on my back. So I understand the healing properties of medical marijuana, and I respect that. And I don't judge anybody else for using it otherwise for themselves. I understand that. It's in the Bible. If people will look into it, there's medicinal healing in the Bible with plants and all that. But there's a lot of those, is it aquaponics?
Mm-hmm.
How do they say that? Hydroponics?
Yeah, same thing.
Something like that.
Yeah.
And I think that's going to be a way in the future for us to do some people that don't have a lot of land, maybe.
Yep. Like Bill Gates.
Well, he's probably not here anymore, but
who tested positive recently, even though he's fully pricked and boosted.
If he doesn't let his children, why would he do it to himself?
But that's a way. Water always wins. Water is the essence of life. We're 70% water, 3/4 water. The earth is 3/4 water. All the truth is in front of you. I mean, it's just don't use that fluoridated water because it's not good for you.
Yeah.
Filter it.
Well, the NDAA should be coming out with the water testing soon. That was in the military's NDAA that's supposed to be released to the public soon. So,
Well, let me just take it down to the real level. People, I've had this discussion with dentists my whole life. Oh, you need to get fluoride on your teeth, this and that. And it's like, okay, maybe there is something valuable to that, but why is it in the water?
but if you spit it out,
Yeah, but you think about this, and even if you don't, it's a limited amount. But when you're drinking it every day, I drink like a freaking horse. I mean, I'll drink a gallon of water easy a day. Now, if I'm drinking fluoridated water, I mean, how am I controlling how much fluoride I'm drinking? I'm not.
you're not. Yeah.
No, it's going into my organs. It's not topically, just hitting my teeth and, oh, it's good for my teeth. No, I'm ingesting all that stuff. So there's, the parts per million, all that stuff. It's like it's not regulated as far as, somebody like me who just like drinks and drinks and drinks, whatever it is. That's why our founding fathers drank distilled spirits. That's why they were drunk when they signed the Constitution, because no, I'm serious. Go look at the history. Because the water supply was so bad. I mean, and that's why we get all these diseases, the cholera and all these things, because we didn't have good water. And so they're like, hey, it's distilled, it's purified. Well, this is like the only safe thing to drink because the water was so bad. And that's how you don't get sick.
I did listen to a whole thing.
And that's truth.
Back when Uncle Cliff was doing the whole fermentation. If you guys go back and watch his old videos on, would it be on BitChute for fermentation?
And that's a great thing, fermentation.
Yeah, if you watch his old videos on fermentation, and he talks about why they were doing that, and then they blamed the witches, and which is just
burn the witch.
A lot of that was ridiculous.
We can't have natural things, and looking to nature for answers. We have to look to pharmaceuticals and the petroleum industry. Thank you, Rockefellers,
and
for the medical industrial complex.
With a lot of these people drinking mushroom tea, and whatever, and they were burning witches for that. That's actually what witches brew was
healing properties, herbs, natural things that actually heal you. But now, no, go to the doctor. Ask your doctor if it's right for you.
Yeah, and because Ben and I were on a trip back from, I don't remember where.
Somewhere far, far away.
Somewhere far, far away. One of our epic road trips. Mm-hmm. And we were watching some of Uncle Cliff's videos about fermentation, and Ben and I were actually talking about this before, and then we were like, how weird that that's what Cliff's videos were about. And then and we were talking about how our founding fathers were having, because the water quality of the water was bad, so they would use fermentation to purify the water.
Yeah.
So they might have been a little drunkish.
And just right. I mean, you ferment the beer, the alcohol, but it sanitizes
the alcohol purified the water.
Correct.
Yeah.
And so at least you're getting some liquid in your body, even though alcohol dehydrates you and this and that. But you want to die of some kind of disease that's in the water? I mean, that's how most people die. You look at India, and all these big cities, and they're dumping everything in the water. And I'm not picking on India. I'm just picking on, the cultures that still don't sanitize their water. I mean, that's the big thing.
Ethiopia, and that big, when they look back at when they did that 4 horsemen thing, and they looked back at the people dying of starvation and all that, they were trying to purify the water instead of putting mushrooms or whatever, so in Oklahoma, 3.2 beer, which is what we used to have, is technically food because it adds
it's good for your gut.
Organisms that are good for your gut.
Yep.
But that purify the water, that actually give you sustenance. Mm-hmm. It makes it technically food in the water. So you could have purified the water and made it a form of food to feed the people. Oh no, we're just going to put fluoride and bleach.
No, we've got a
and starve them to death with just straight water. right?
Because
Am I right on that?
no, you're absolutely right, because you look at the fluoridation. It was because some guy, I don't remember his name, went up to Michigan in the early 1930s, 40s, and said, oh, this is a good thing. What is the fluoride that they put in the water? It's not the natural fluoride. It's a byproduct of the big industry is really what it is. And so they needed something. They needed some way to get rid of the waste.
Fluoride. It can't be. It has to be something they can make.
It's toxic waste is what they're putting in the water supply. That's really what it is, because they need to get rid of this byproduct, make profit. And see, it's not just about profit. That's what people think. Oh, they're just in it to make money. No, it's multifaceted. It's like, we are bloodlines. We're royal families. We are vampire families that have been around forever. And we can't let people know that we actually control things. And we are not good leaders. We're actually bad people that do bad things behind the scenes. We still need to be worshipped. So how do we dumb them down?
Behind the scenes,
How do we profit from doing bad things that keep people held down, that keeps them sedated so that they don't fight back against us and realize the power that they have? I mean, that's really what it comes down to. And it really is. And, like you're awakening right now. And I mean, you're like the poster child. You really are. And I say that in a good way, for the awakening, the new normal. Because when you first came into this, you're very innocent. You came out of bad situations.
Lose friends and influence people.
Right. Exactly. And make that a meme. Glasswalker. We need that.
Lose friends and influence people.
Exactly. But you have to realize that, the system isn't working for us. The system is keeping us down. And that's why, you travel to all these places. That's why we go to all these places, to meet like-minded people. Because, unfortunately, I mean, the people we went to high school with aren't those people who are awake. It's a small percentage of people.
Oh, it's not even the people I went to high school with. It's the people that I
live next to.
Yeah. I mean,
everybody.
It's the people that I raised my kids with.
I know.
It's the people that I I mean, it's not that long ago that I just went to an event with some people that they're like, oh, well, now that I know you're supporting this, well, I'll invite you to some more of these things. And I was like, yeah, okay. I mean,
we made this deal at the cosmic bus stop when we're sitting up there in our spiritual life. Before we came down, we said, all right, we got to meet each other. We got to change the world. We got to fight this last battle. We got to awaken people. And that's what our goal is here, to find each other. And we're going to have to go all across the country. We're going to have to go all over the world to find the like-minded people. And you're all watching right now. I mean, what do we have? 12 people in the chat. Doesn't matter. 14, 12, I don't know.
14 watching.
I'm a little slow,
Well, we also have Twitch.
Yeah, that's just on my YouTube channel, which is the most people I've ever had watching my YouTube channel. There's people watching on Twitter, and I can't see that. And
Twitter,
so shout
and
out to
Rumble,
all of you.
and on
all these platforms that Litecoin Lisa has done the work and put it out there to get the message out, because it's so important, because that's why we do the meetups. That's why we're doing the June 17th meetup. That's why you need to come to Peoria, so that we can meet each other and look each other in the eye and have those experiences and realize, you know what, you're not alone out there. We are here for a reason. We are here to change things. The Revolutionary War was not fought by the majority of people. Most of the people are like, oh, shit, I guess that's what the King George III said. That's what we got to do. No, it's not. Screw that. Why is this guy sitting on a throne, fattening himself up? Absolute retard, which is what he was, telling people what to do. No, you're better than that. And that's really what it comes down to. We're not born here for that. We're human beings, for frick's sake. It's just, enough of these cardboard cutout people. Quit worshiping these vampires. You see the royal, oh my God, the queen's sick. Yeah, she's been sick since the day she was born because she's inbred. I mean,
it's her 70th anniversary or birthday again next month, and they're planning on that. And there's all those kind of things going on. But and
our American news reports on that stuff. We had a revolution to get away from these vampires that live in castles. I mean, when does that resonate? I mean, when do we wake up and say, and I know you're all awake in the chat, but when do people wake up and say, what have they done to deserve this? What have they done to earn the respect of people? No, you got kids falling, climbing out of windows at the Royal Palace, trying to escape, naked children. I mean, go look it up. Trying to escape these vampires. And that's what they are. They're vampires. Read the vampire stories, and you'll know everything you need to know about the people who are in control, because they all are vampires. All of them. So don't let them into your life. Cut the ties. Do something different. That's why I'm in crypto. That's why I'm in Litecoin specifically. It's like, I'm done feeding them. I don't care. I am going to have something that I can hold and I can transact value with. My energy is going to go into something that has real value, that is not part of their game, not part of their casino.
And go have the conversations. Get involved in your local.
Run for sheriff. Get on the school board.
Run for sheriff.
Something.
I mean, I went to a local.
You're paying for all this shit.
Gathering. I won't get into details, and I talked to the guy that I really have a lot of respect for. We have a lot of common beliefs, and I asked him, and I said, so you're a banker, you are running for this office, whatever. And I said, I'm curious, what are your thoughts about constitutional money? And he's like, well, we got to get them to quit spending so much, overspending. I was like, no. Like, we need to talk about what is constitutional money,
As Papa Joe says, go read Creature from Jekyll Island by G.
Right. I talked to him about that. I said, Oklahoma has done some things with our treasury to protect us from the Fed, from federal taxing, that we are actually in a protected position by holding some of our asset, or a lot of our asset, in gold. Which protects us from
gold, silver, Litecoin, whatever it is, something
and
outside
I said,
of
what
their
about having Oklahoma having a cryptocurrency, or looking at that, or looking at our assets in oil reserves, and then mining oil and mining Bitcoin or mining cryptocurrency and looking at that in Oklahoma's resources. I mean, like, there's so much, and we are in this special place. Charlie and I were watching something. There was a test done in Oklahoma. Oklahoma is a very special place, you guys. It is the center of the United States, physically, not only physically. Highway 33, look it up, goes through Guthrie, which was the original state capital. Check your numerology about 33, the highest rank of the Masons.
Yep.
Also, the largest Mason temple is in Guthrie. There's a whole, that's not all by accident. Check all that stuff out. But that was also the original state capital. It was moved to Oklahoma City, but then there was a test done in Oklahoma City of a smallpox outbreak. We were watching on that Four Horsemen video. If you guys go watch that on the History Channel, that was just posted last night. And they talk about how there's not enough. Anyway, I won't get you Westwood's channel.
Ban it. I don't care, because it'll come back. No, I'm serious. I got 600 and some subscribers, 640. It's going to be like 642 after this.
So there's not a vaccine. There's not a smallpox vaccine in the emergency reserves for when they did the test in Oklahoma City. There's other things that have been tested in Oklahoma City that there's now memorials of that you guys can check into.
The Edward R. Murrow building. Look into that. What happened to that?
Yeah.
Look what happened to the Twin Towers. Oh, wait, Building 7? Oh, nobody remembers that. Go look into Building 7 and Larry Silverstein. How did that happen? How were controlled demolitions already in the building before the planes hit? And he said, pull it. Too much damage, pull it. He collects on his insurance policy. I mean, all the records that went down in that, all the records that went down in the Murrow building. I mean, all those things that they try to cover up. See, it's multifaceted. That's what they do. That's what happens when they have access to all the money. That's why Andrew Jackson they tried to assassinate him because he killed the bank, the national bank that they tried to implement. And then they had to wait, 70 years, and then the Titanic goes down. All these people are going to fight it, and so they pass it on Christmas, in Congress in 1913, Federal Reserve
And
Act.
all these special dates mean something.
It does, because they're a cult, because they are those people. Magic. They believe in magic.
And sometimes they're used for good and sometimes they're used for evil. So,
and that's why we're here to use it for good,
and
to
today,
unveil it all.
So if you guys are a 107 follower, or if you guys remember, or if you've been following me and watching, he did
join Lisa's Patreon for more information.
Because you'll have to probably go up there. But there was a movie that Jennifer Mack and 107 did, called The Perfect Day, or The Call, or The Called, The Makings of a Perfect Day. And you put all the pieces together, and there's a Bugs Bunny thing, and there's some wild pieces. And today there have been some promoted tweets about the pain in the heel. And today the
Huffington
Post did a article about a podiatrist and they have these
Was it Bull Pony, or was he a chiropractor? I can't remember. He was one of those, a podiatrist or a chiropractor. Anyway,
he's a chiropractor.
Okay,
it has nothing to do with him. But they have these horrible shoes.
Bologna.
And they're stomping on the heel, and they said the pain in the heel. And then
and then the snake stomping on the snake, with the heel, that whole Gadsden flag thing, that snake.
Maybe.
It's all symbolism, and somebody said in the chat, symbolism will be their downfall. It really is, because they believe in that stuff. They believe in symbolism. Enough of it. You're nothing but a cardboard cutout. I think of, when you're talking about the white horse, the pale horse, pale rider, I think 1983 Clint Eastwood, he's riding in the town, and it's like, and death travels with him. It's like, this stuff we have got to awaken people with, whatever it is, memes, whatever it is, it's symbolism. Use it against them. So when they think that, a big day is May 13th, Friday the 13th, when there's a full moon, this is when we do our thing. Chase children in the woods, and hunt them.
Think something
Most dangerous games,
happened.
Richard Connell. Look at that stuff. They're telling you the truth.
I think that the heel, something bad happened to the heel. So a friend of mine who will remember,
Bill Gates got the COVID.
The heel. Oh, was that what today?
No, those things, those things that come out, it's very instructive if you're paying attention and aware and use critical thinking, which is lacking in this world.
Right.
Think about all these messages and what they mean.
Yeah, if you stop being fed by Google and you start using critical thinking and you start looking at 7 for 7 for 7, that's a lot of sevens.
It's a magical number.
Golf Channel does a lot of messaging, and there was a lot on that movie. So there was a lot of things that happened today. So I think it's good for America. Maybe it looks bad on the outside, but ultimately, the dollar has to die because, and I think Sean made a great point on this. He's like, if you zoom out, in history, people will say the fiat dollar was an experiment that failed miserably. Over time in history, precious metals were what people traded and what had value.
It came out of the
bartering.
earth. All wealth comes out of the earth.
Right.
It takes work. It's not something you can create out of nothing and say, it's a stable coin. It's stable to what? Oh, it's this, it's that. No, there are things that have real value.
Is a stable coin. Yeah.
It's our energy. It's what we give energy to. It's what we give our power to. And if we're going to give our power to a vampire casino and walk in and say, yeah, I like these poker chips. I think I can get rich on these. Hey, I'm going to win the lottery, which is just nothing more than a tax on the desperate. That's all the lottery is. And, you know, you look at how much money of the lottery for those people, that one person who wins, where does the half of the money go to that off the top they take? And then the taxes that come out of it. And then what you get, yeah, you win 100 million, you walk away with like 30 million. Oh, I'm cool though, because that 30 million can change my life. But that 70 million went to a bunch of vampires. That's what it did. And one person got rich that might not be able to handle it. And so that's the question that was in the chat earlier. What are you going to do with $1 million? What are you going to do with $30 million? What are you going to do with $1 billion? What's minimum wage? Should it be 15? Should it be 30? Why not 100? It doesn't matter.
Yeah,
It's
minimum
what you
wage
do.
doesn't matter when
It's what you do with your power
inflation
and your
can be-
energy right now.
well, and when inflation can be printed to gazillion, like that, when the dollar can be manipulated, it doesn't matter. You know, when all of that is
A fraud, a fiction,
A
a magic
fraud.
trick. A
When
magic trick. That's
the
all it
whole
is.
word fiat means
Out of nothing,
it's
by
trusted.
decree. It's just out of
It's
nothing.
trusted to a third party,
Mhm.
which means it's not valued or weighed or
That's
measured
why. All right.
on against anything.
Let's get real. We're not making stuff up. Let's take the dollar bill out of my pocket.
It's not weighed against anything.
It says
It means nothing.
this note, not dollar, this note right here, this note is legal tender for all debts, public and private. See, they have to put it on there because, I mean, you know what real value is. I mean, this is real value. I mean, honestly, right here, this is real value. Having things like this. I mean, it really is when you think about it. Having relationships, having that spirit energy, having these meetups, hugging people, knowing people, looking people in the eye, knowing who we are and resonating and activating our spirit, that's real power. But they have to actually print it on the dollar that says, hey, you know what, this thing that we created, you know, this thing we printed up on cotton, yeah, it's legal tender. You know, they have to tell us what it is. We had presidents that said, you know what, it doesn't have value. Andrew Jackson fought the bank. Kennedy fought the bank. Tried to take our own energy out of the treasury and produce notes. Lincoln tried to do the same thing. All these people, they tried to assassinate them to take them out because they're telling the truth. They're telling the truth. It's like, you know what? You people are the power. And we just need a representation of who we are, a representation of our energy, a representation of you know, who we are. You go, you get a check, you get your check, and I can't buy eggs. I feel like that John Travolta meme. You know, you can't buy eggs. You can't buy baby formula. You can't buy the things you need. Okay, so what's broken? And then we've got Clown, you know, coming out on Tuesday, whatever it is. We're going to fight inflation. We're going to, you know, it stumbles through it, and inflation's a good thing. No, it's a bad thing. I don't know. And it's just an awakening process to realize who you are. Are you being paid in something that's real? Is it gold? Is it silver? And in the digital age, is it Litecoin? Are you getting paid in something that represents something you can hold, something you can do, something with outside of government? If you hold gold, you hold silver, you hold Litecoin, it doesn't matter what happens to the government. You still have value because they are not a part of that. No bank, no government is a part of that stuff. And all wealth comes out of the ground. Think about that. That's why Russia, that's why the ruble is pegged to gold right now. That's why the ruble, you got to have rubles to actually get natural gas because they have the real assets that were put here by God, by aliens, whatever you want to call it, whatever comes out of this ground, that energy, that's the key. And once you understand that,
it goes back to the fact that energy
and
never
there's
dies.
Tesla, and there's Tesla right there.
Energy never dies. Energy just moves around. And so even when these markets are crashing,
your spirit, energy,
they are just moving from one pocket to the next pocket. So they're not dying. Crypto is not dying.
You still got your
Moving
Litecoin,
from
right?
one
You still
pocket to
got
the
your
next
Bitcoin.
pocket.
You still got your crypto that you can control. Okay, here's the example I use. You go out and you buy a house. You could have bought a house for,
Look at this damn
$100,000.
handsome man.
Isn't he a handsome guy? He's a handsome man. And you can buy a house. You own that house. You own that property. You live in it. And you pay $100,000 for it. Okay, then we have a boom. Oh my gosh, look at housing. Now your house is worth $300,000 on Zillow. Oh, that's what they tell you it's worth. You're feeling enriched. The thing is, you're still living in that house. You still enjoy that house. You still have what you paid for. And they can say it's worth $50,000. Does it really affect your life based on the price of what they say it's worth? No, because it still has the same value as when you bought it. You bought it for a reason. Now, we're in a speculative bubble when it comes to a lot of properties. Yes, China's coming over here and buying a bunch of stuff. Bill Gates owns all the farmland, blah, blah, blah. The thing is, if you've got, like you said, if you've got resources, if you've got water, hydroponics, aquaponics, you can grow food. That's real value. There are things in this life that have real value. When you understand what those are, there's no dollar price that you can put on it because that's an artificial fiction, a magic trick, a layer that they put on top of it. And as long as you believe in it, and that's why I call it a vampire casino, as long as you believe in those poker chips that they're going to do something for you, then you're part of the game. The thing is, though, you've watched all the gangster movies. Hey, I just won $1 million in the casino. I'm going to go cash it out. And they say, guess what? Let's go count it in the back room. And they take you in the basement and break your fingers. It's their game. Quit playing their game. Realize what real assets are, what they are. Get them in your own possession. Hold them. Know what you need out of life. You know the truth inside. Trust yourself, because if you don't, you're just a victim of their game. Find out how to get outside of that game. Don't play that game. Don't go into that casino.
I think a really clear example of that is what this damn handsome man is saying.
He woke a lot of people up by winning.
This first, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. The 7th and 8th word are very powerful. And if you go into, let's see, my Twitter, and I posted, and I know I sent this to my Patreon, there was an article and we talked about it yesterday, which is how I lost my very first YouTube channel, live streaming with Johnny with no warnings or anything ever. And I think it's already done, to be totally honest, but there's this article that
how else would they know what's going to happen? Because I think people know what's going to happen. There are certain people, and there's what's called the Orion Cube, that the Simpsons, they have those little images of, the future, and they all, they predict things. There are people out there that are in the know, and they're way above my pay grade, but they seem to know. Elon Musk is one of them. Is he a good guy, a bad guy? I don't know.
I don't know either.
I really don't. It's a wild card. It really is. But there are people who are in the know that I think that they kind of know what's going to happen. They at least have images, and maybe the future can be changed because we have free will. But maybe the future today is, okay, this is what's going to happen. But then something happens. Like Queen Lisa and Clint Westwood talk some stuff on a channel, and then somebody changes, and then they do something, and then that future changes. But I think that it's all... You looked at it in the Q posts where it was moves and counter moves. It's always changing. It's fluid. Human beings are the wild card. We are the wild card. And we just have to realize that, we're the ones with the power. They want our energy. They want to deceive us and steal our energy. That's what they're doing. Don't let them do it. Just don't let them do it. Insulate yourself from it. Realize who you are, where you come from, what you're a part of, and move on.
So there have been, like I said, all these weird there have been all these weird, super weird. Oh, it's going to make me sign in. Darn it. maybe I don't have to sign in. Making of a Perfect Day, and it does this like, I don't know if any of you guys have watched this video.
I was going to ask you about videos. Put that on the back burner. But you're always dropping Netflix videos, things to watch, 12,000 Mules,
I don't know.
2,000 Mules, that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
I mean, what's the Netflix video or the video that they need to watch right now? What do we need to watch, Lisa? What's going to awaken people?
Watch the Four
Just chiming in
Horsemen on History Channel. Go watch The Called, Making of a Perfect Day, because that is old school. So, well, no, I say old school. The world is moving so fast. That was back when I was 2017, just getting orange pilled, red pilled, silver pilled,
non-pharmaceutical pilled.
Jennifer Mack. Yeah. And now I'm seeing these promoted tweets where I'm like, the heel. And I'm like sending my friends, I'm like, what is this? The heel. What is pain in the heel? And one of my friends was saying like, oh, that's what Bugs Bunny always called the heel. He would say like the bad guy that he didn't like.
The heel in theater is the bad guy. It's like,
yes. And so in the movie, The Called, the heel, and there's a guy, and there's a part of it. And I'm terrible. I have a terrible memory. Part of it's like my past stuff that I just move forward. That's part of my survival skill. But there's a part of the movie where it's something to do with, I don't know if it's Disney or but it shows the Bugs Bunny thing, and I want to say it has something to do with a burial scene of someone, but it has something to do with the Bugs Bunny, like those circles where he's and it has something to do with like a guy was buried, or on his headstone is written. I think it is something to do with that. I'm trying to remember. Something to do with the guy's headstone is written. Something today has to do with the heel. And then the HuffPost put out today with the healed. So those promoted tweets have been leading up. The HuffPost did a big article today that has a total calm, then golf.
And calm is what? Communication. It's communicating to the people, right?
So they do communications where they're like not saying, but they're saying. So they send these messages where they're like sending codes, or they're sending non-messages. So it's like someone told you, but they didn't tell you.
Welcome to the dragon's lair. Here's my dragon impression.
Right. So, and you can catch the message or not catch the message or whatever, but then you'll see. So like I was seeing all this shorts stuff, and I was like, that means something. I know that means something. And I was trying to put it all together. And then we saw the big Luna tether or UST thing happen. And I was like, I knew that was coming. I didn't know exactly. So you don't have all the pieces. You just know it means something, and
It's like when you have a dream and you're like, okay,
yeah.
And then it clicks, and you're like, oh my God, now I remember.
Like I don't have the inside info to understand what it means. I just know it means something.
Luna means moon, and we've got a full moon coming up. We've got an eclipse coming up. We've got a lot of the precognition people who are tapped into spirit saying that things are changing, things are happening, and then you see what happened in the crypto market. You see what's happening.
So is the Luna thing, is that message not even over?
I don't think it is.
Is that not even over? I don't know.
And then Luna is tied to silver. I mean, the whole silver narrative.
Short, what's in my pocket? And they did the whole thing. The girl walked up with somebody in her arms, and the MOMs came out all this week, all the month over month. Mom, I was like, that is so all those reports, the mom, like I
As
watched.
Daddy O says, no coincidences. Absolutely right.
Yeah.
There are no accidents. You know, and I think about that. I always used to say no coincidences. Yeah, I mean, things can coincide in the true definition of the word.
Mhm.
I don't think there are any accidents. There are no accidents. Everything happens for a reason. We're here for a reason. We're having this discussion for a reason. All of these things are very important. You know, and it comes back to humanity. Who are we? Who are we? Are we some just experiment by these, you know, different camps of aliens that have come down and written texts? And I don't care, you know, and that's what it comes down to me. I don't care what my history is, where I came from, how I've been genetically modified and created into this being from different animals, this and that. The fact is, if I can think it, it can become reality. And we've seen that throughout history. As human beings, if we put our energy into something, we can change it. And we have to put our energy into those things that matter.
And
not give ourselves over to vampires.
Dividing us. And that's where, like, I had a friend come over the
Roe
other
v.
day.
Wade, the ultimate divider, you know, that comes out. It's like they're trying to divide us with everything they can.
Even the Roe v. Wade is not about abortion. It's about states' rights.
It's about the rights of the people.
Deciding what's right for their people.
Yep.
And so it's all about division. And I had a friend come over the other day, and she's like, we start talking, and, you know, you're like, you say something weird, and then they say something weird, and you're like, oh, I'm okay with that, and
click,
you're
click,
okay
click.
with that, and whatever. And then all of a sudden she's like, you know, he kind of looks like the Nephilim. And I was like,
where'd that come from, right?
She just said that out loud, and I was like,
Genesis 6.
And she's like, and then she's like, you're okay with that? And I was like, yeah, you're okay with that? And like, oh, okay. But how long have we been terrified to say those things to each other because we've been told that we're enemies of each other, or that we hate each other, or that we think the other one is weird or stupid or ignorant, or, you know what I mean? I'm like,
and you see that with conversations. You know,
Yeah.
if I left the house, I would have those conversations. My buddy Mitch here leaves the house. You know, he leaves his property, and he has these conversations. And he always says, oh, man, you know who I met today? We had a 20-minute conversation on all this stuff. And it's engaging other people, and, you know, we resonate with each other when we're out and about. That's why we had a whole pandemic. That's why we covered our faces. That's, you know, not all of us, but that's why we covered our faces. They wanted us to do that so we could not express ourselves, our humanity, so that we could see each other for who we are and connect. And that's the whole game. They're doing everything they can at this point to make sure we don't get together. Make sure that we don't find the like-minded people who have come here with that, you know, with that sole mission to change things and to say, you know what, this is all BS. And I'm that old curmudgeon that, you know, I'm seriously, I'm just so done with it. I've been done with it for 20 years. And I'm just like,
but don't give up and go.
No, I'm not. I'm not. And that's why
that's where you have to get out. You have to wear bright lipstick, and you have to go to, well, you don't have to wear bright lipstick, but you have to
but I could, but I'll do that, and I'll wear high heels too. You know, I'll do whatever I have to do. And you're the one that like, get your ass out on the road.
Yeah,
get out here and meet people.
Go out on the road.
I know.
Go hug people. You have to go make friends. You have to.
And I know that.
Go be out there. We have to go to the meetups. We have to go to the people and say, like, I mean, I go to the store and I will like stand. I don't go to the self-checkout. I go to the one with the person, and I sit there and I stare at them until they look me back in the eye, and I'm like, hi, how are you today? And I hope you're having a great day. Thanks for your help. I really appreciate your help. And just to force it, because I want to have some community in my community again. And if I'm not going to start it, then who is? And we can all do that, you know?
Absolutely. At every level, at the smallest level, because that's where it matters most. It really does. It's meeting those people and looking people in the eye like you do to realize, because when you look somebody in the eye and you make that eye contact, and it's your spirit. I mean, you're resonating with somebody else's soul, and you're awakening them, and you're, you know,
and
they realize
what they were doing. It takes 21 days to make a habit. And think about, we've been in this for almost 2 years. I mean, I think about like we not only now, I mean, we're walking around the other day. Okay, yeah, we're not wearing masks anymore, but we're still like somebody walks past and they're like, "Oh, excuse me."
I know.
They give
they-
like
That's
3
what they.
miles of a berth of somebody just walking past, where before it was like, "Oh, brush your arm, whatever." Like, I feel like I'm just gonna I'm
All
gonna
right,
run up
I'll
and start
tell you.
hugging everyone randomly.
Well, that's what you should do. And you know what? Here's an example. And I have my own way of doing things. That's just what Westwood does. But I take my daughter to school, to grade school every day, and I walk up, and my wife's like, "You taking the dog? You're not supposed to have pets on the property." I'm like, "Yeah, I'm taking the dog." So I take this little dog, this little beautiful thing with me, and I walk up in the crossing guard.
Oh,
She's
and
like,
all the kids.
she's
I'm
like
sure.
the lady. She's like, "Oh my God, let me hold her!" And so
Yeah.
every day I go now, she's just waiting for me. She's like, "Oh, here he comes!" And she's like, "Here, give her." And she's traffic's. The kids, the drop off, the
Yeah.
trucks and the cars are backed up because she's holding the dog and she's not doing her job. And she's like, "Oh my God, I got to do my job." The guy gets out of the truck. He starts petting her. He
Yeah.
parks his truck, and it's just like it. It's those simple things. It's those real loving things, human things that we are that awaken people. And I mean, I never would have talked to the guy because I'm just like this hermit, and he's just like, "Oh my gosh, is that a this and that?" And he says, "Oh, we got a cockapoo, we got her last year." And I said, "Well, how's it going?" "Oh, the greatest dog ever." And you strike up a conversation because it breaks everything down. It breaks it down to that elemental level, that spiritual level,
do you
that
think the
that love
Chinese
level
were
of
trying to
who
get
we
rid of
are.
everyone's pets?
Absolutely. I mean, you think of the devastation that does to people. I mean, that's a horrible thing, but that's what they do because they are not aligned with the light. They are aligned. There are certain people who are running
Because
things
even people
who are
who
not
have a
aligned with
hard
the
time
light,
connecting with other humans,
which is
can
me.
go
I'm a
walk
shy
with
guy.
dogs, and they can
then
say, "Oh, I like your dog," or they can go to the dog park and they can't connect with other humans, but they can be like, their dogs connect, or they're like,
because it's
"Oh,
the purest sense of energy that there is on
yes."
earth. There really is. And that's why I had to get 2 dogs this time because I don't want to go down that dark
You
hole
needed
because
double.
I would hit that nuke button
Yeah.
and say, "Let's start over." And seriously, because I've seen it so long. And this brings me to peace. It helps me to connect with that spiritual level. And it's so very important that we do that. It really is. And I mean, I'm this big dude carrying this little dog. I'm unapproachable otherwise.
I just
because
hope she's not your dark side, because you had a
No.
white one last time.
No. That's why I surround myself with female energy, and I only have female energy around me.
Okay.
And I always have girl dogs. So,
I'm sure she's.
and it works. And it works. I mean, it does because it awakens something in humanity that they've tried to kill in this whole thing, this whole process. That's what they're trying to do. Divide, conquer. Can't let that happen. Whatever it takes to make that survive, we have to do that. And so, that's the way I do it.
Well, I'm just grateful for our community that we have. I keep looking over at the chat and reading it. Phil C. and Daddy-O and Jim Montgomery and Tom and Popo.
Who need to all come to Peoria, Illinois
Nancy.
on June 17th.
And everybody over there, G Chin, and everybody that's in the chat commenting. Hopefully you guys are all going to be at the meetup in Peoria and joining us. I'm super excited about
because if it plays in Peoria, it plays anywhere. Go look that one up.
More things. This guy's got 1 million of them.
I'm gonna be talking a lot of them.
Thanks for joining us. And AJ, my gosh, how sweet. He loves your doggy. He also does dog drawings. Phil C.
There you go.
Open-minded Bitcoin. Tom, of course. I think I mentioned Tom earlier.
I mean, we all come to Earth, innocent. We all come to Earth, as right from God. Think of it that way. We're very pure. We're very innocent. The world corrupts us. It builds up these layers around that core of the onion, and then pretty soon we become numb. And
onions right now. I just can't do the onions right now.
I got you. But I remember the Breakfast Club. What was it? It was 16 Candles. Who was the guy? Somebody look it up.
Jake Ryan.
the director of those 80s films that everybody watches and never sees the whole thing because, you tune in, you're like, oh, 16 Candles on. You missed the first 5 minutes. Breakfast Club, same thing. But John Hughes, I think that was the guy's name. He died at a young age. And I think Molly Ringwald or somebody, what was it? It was there was a quote that he had. It's when you get older, you kind of lose that connection and you forget where you came from. And, my degrees in English are, the romantic poets in England were the best, the John Keats, those types, because they realized
John Hughes quotes.
Yeah. John Hughes
We're
quotes.
all pretty bizarre. All I care about in this goddamn life are me, my drums, and you. Those who say you only live once, you never read a book. You don't spell it, son. The hardest thing about being a writer. Nope.
Well, the point of it is.
Wait, quotes to live by. A person should not believe in ism. He should live by himself. Ferris Bueller? No. Top 23 quotes by John Hughes. Life moves pretty fast. If you don't stop and look around once in a while, you can miss it. That one?
No.
Well, shit.
I think it was a quote or a saying that he told one of the actors, and they quoted it. Might not be something out there in the mainstream, but that's really what it is. We come to earth on the wings of God, and we're innocent, we're pure, because we come from that spirit. I mean, that's what we are. We're of that same essence. And then we get corrupted by the world. And then we get older. And then we forget about what it's like to have the dreams, have just that belief in the magic of the world.
What you thought. I think he may have been a pedophile.
Oh, that could be too. Well, that's why he's dead, right?
This seems very weird.
The thing is, though, I mean, you look at Edgar Allan Poe, you look at all the writings of Ernest Hemingway, you look at all those things, and everybody's corrupted, but they do spill some truth once in a while. And they do affect people.
Okay.
All I know is that the closest thing to God is a puppy at this point in my life.
Let's go back to dogs.
It really does kind of all go back to dog, because, you spell it backward, it's God. Just saying.
Oh, that's sweet.
Yeah. As above, so below.
Very sweet. All right. You doing a Twitter Spaces tonight?
I don't know. Are you?
Oh, Lord, Westwood.
I know. We'll be up till 3 a.m. doing Twitter Spaces. And
no.
Last week it was crazy because I was up till almost 3 a.m. Yeah, we can't talk about Litecoin, Mitch says. So last week I had to get up. My daughter had conference at 9 a.m. on Saturday. I went to bed at, I don't know, it was like 3 a.m. by the time my head hit the pillow. Had to get up. I'm like, oh my God, I'm hurting. Daddy O said the same thing. He's like, why do you keep me up this late? I can't drink for a week. I'm tore up.
No,
it is what it is,
Yeah. Well, as long as you guys stay up, then that's good.
Yeah, Mitch, he slept good because, that man knows his limitations when it comes to sleep.
Oh, Mitch has boundaries.
When it comes to 10:30, he's like, I'm out. And he's like, all right, hug, I'm out.
Yeah.
I'm going across the street. I'm done. I can't handle
boundaries
this.
And he goes to sleep.
I don't know my limitations, even though I should.
Mm-hmm.
I'm here for the people. I'm here for all of you. I really am. I love everybody. I really do. It's just I could hit that nuke button because I'll tell you what, you're going to take out a lot of bad guys. And, I don't want to be that way. I don't want to be that way because I see the positivity. And that's why I love Litecoin Lisa, because you bring me into the positive light. And it's like, things are changing. And I'm like, yeah, you're right. They are.
It is. I mean, it's painful.
They are. It is painful.
It's actually the least painful. If you think about it, most of us are still in our homes. A lot of us are still working.
We don't have war at home.
We don't have war at home.
Right. I mean, and 40 billion's not going to Ukraine this weekend because Rand Paul said, you know what, we're going to stonewall it a little bit, maybe wake some more people up and realize.
They're telling you about it. They're telling you what would have been.
$40 billion would buy a lot of baby formula and a lot of eggs, right?
They're telling you what could have been if you will wake up, if you care, And I also think this is the other thing. I also think, and I have said multiple times, like, as much as I love DJT, and I did not like him in the beginning.
I know you didn't. You
I
told
did
the
not like
story
him,
about
Sam.
in
I
the
am.
parking lot. You're just like, oh, do I vote for him or do I vote for
I
Hillary?
sat in the parking lot and was like, do I vote for the most narcissistic asshole or do I vote for Satan? I'm very confused.
Right.
And I voted for Trump. But I was confused. And then I was like, oh no, this is the guy. And then, but not because he was the guy, because I believed in America first.
Yep.
And that's what I believe in.
And everything he did was to make sure that
His
America was
statements
first.
are that I'm bringing it back to you to give it to the people. And so now he's destroying himself. If you watch what he's doing, he's saying, hey, you guys, vote for Oz, vote for Dr. Oz. Don't you love him? That's destroying himself.
And you're like,
even him saying, get the jab.
He did.
He's destroying
I got the
himself.
jab.
Because
he doesn't care. Because it's all part of a bigger
him giving
plan.
it back to the people and him saying, think for yourself. Stop trusting me. Think for yourself. That's where you are smart and you are powerful when you learn to think for yourself. That's where America is great. When America can think for itself. When America quits looking to they, them, the. When America gets critical thinking and learns to think for itself and uses the Constitution and the voting power and uses what our founding fathers set up, that's when America is powerful. And so if we can do that and Trump wants to destroy himself in that power, then yes, destroy yourself and go down in flames, and God bless you for that. And you know what? I don't hate him for that. I respect him for that. But I think that's part of it. Like,
it's not about him. It's about us.
Yeah, it's not about him. It's about us. And he is doing it to wake the people up. And if people have to hate him because of that, I think he's cool with that because he knows who he is. I think that's if people can understand, it's less about like how many he doesn't give two shits about how many followers he has.
Because he could have said, yes, get me back on Twitter, Elon. I need to be on Twitter. He didn't care. No. He said early on
He's before, like, destroy me in flames if that means saving our country.
Find that speech and play it. He had a speech before he was elected, almost right before election night. And when he said, this is about restoring America. Right. I will suffer the slings and arrows. Mm-hmm. And that's a Hamlet quote. I will suffer the slings and arrows of outrageous fortune.
And he did not need to do it. The bow is in the sky. And if you look at astrology right now, the bow is in the sky. You guys go look that shit up.
And when's that next big solar eclipse coming that happens in southern Illinois where it crosses the old one? It's like 2024.
That's the bow in the sky.
I mean, it's like we might have to wait till 2024 to restore things. But you know what? We're in 2022 in the middle of it. I mean,
I don't know.
It's just, he had a great speech. I'll tell you, the one at the Catholic charity, whatever it was, when he was calling out Hillary, that was like, oh my God moment.
Oh, I love it.
That was crazy. But he did have a great speech, which was just an amazing speech that it's like, hey, I don't need to do this. Why would you do that? If you've got your $1 million, if you've got your $1 billion, why do you want to participate in this and take the suffering? Why do you want to do this? What is your goal? What is your purpose?
And God bless his family.
But it woke people up. And that's the main thing. We would not be awake as we are right now if he had not done what he did.
And myself
like him
included.
Or not, I don't care. It doesn't
myself
matter.
Included. But I did not like the man.
Woke you up.
I went on rants about, I was so pissed off. I was sitting in my friend Chad Alexander's radio station.
Take that. She might need to pee.
Trump was on, and I was like, oh, do I have to listen to this asshole?
Right, because he is.
And I was like, really? The self-righteous asshole?
Because he is.
And Chad Alexander's wife is like on the committee to elect Trump. And I was like,
I wouldn't want to work for him. Trust me, I would not want to be his employee.
well, I probably wouldn't want to work for him, but I would really like to meet him.
Yeah,
But-
dance with him. Do the.
Oh, I just want to dad dance with him.
He's on the dad dance. I know you. Yeah.
At my daughter's wedding that she's not having. That would be great.
Oh, well.
That'll be fun.
You know, we choose our own path. It is what it is.
I know. It'll
It
be
is what
great.
it is.
But yeah, and we're sitting, but that's how far like I myself have come from. Like that had to be 2016. I don't know. It was after Mia died. So Mia died in 2017. So that had to happen. That was August 2017. We got crypto in October of 2017.
At a Mexican restaurant.
At a Mexican restaurant in
Mexican
Fort Smith,
restaurant.
Arkansas. So that's some pretty quick waking the crap up. And then I was like, but why? I'm like, but isn't Trump an egotistical asshole? You know,
Doesn't matter. I mean, look at what he did. I mean, it doesn't matter. We're all playing a role.
He is a figurehead of the effort. Remember that too.
That's all it is. That's all it is.
Yeah.
Enjoy the show, right?
Yeah.
We all have our roles to play, and there's nothing more. And I guess to leave anybody with this, if you want some Westwood wisdom, it's that you don't. When I remember a Steve McQueen movie, he was in the desert, and I don't know, some God figure came to him and said, the worst thing, and I'm paraphrasing, the worst thing that you could do is live a wasted life. And that's really what it comes down to, is that do you want at the end of your life to look back and say, I could have done something?
I think that's the $1 million question.
It is. I had the ability to do something, but I didn't do something. I mean, who wants to have that kind of life? And that's me. I'm just like, I could walk away today and be fine. It's like, leave me alone. I'll be a hermit. I'll live in a cave.
No.
But it's like, I can't do that, because if you've got the ability to do something and you don't do something and you wish you would have done something, that's the worst kind of life to live. I mean, you have to, if you've got talent, if you've got something to offer to humanity and you don't do it, I mean, what a wasted life.
Well, that's that
do something to help
conversation
other
where
people.
at jiu-jitsu, when I'm going to pick up cannon and I'm having this conversation with a guy who he's former military, retired, and then he re-enlisted. So then he left. He was like a Marine, and then he left, and then he met his wife, and then he trained as a nurse, went back, re-enlisted as a nurse, as an ER nurse, military in the Marines, did all this. So then we're having this conversation, and then I'm like, I start dripping, then all of a sudden I'm just like, forget it. I just gush on him, and he's like, so why are you so passionate about this? And I'm like, because once you start on that journey and you find out like how broken this system is and how it's imprisoning people and how it's stealing from people in their lives in so many ways, like, don't you want to tell everyone? Don't you want to tell everybody, like, you don't have to live that way. You don't have to think that you just have to get up every day and put your head down and think that you have to go to work every day and put your kid in daycare and be afraid of the IRS and be afraid that your boss is going to fire you and be afraid of what if, and be thankful that you only get 2 hours with your family every night, and like
F that.
Be afraid of the IOUs that you might get at the end of the month. Like, and what do they maybe gonna not take from you from bank fees at the end of the month? Like, forget that. You know,
be sovereign. I mean, be the person you were born to be, because y'all know it. Y'all know what you're here for. I mean, just trust yourself. That's all you got to do, and let go all the rest and say, you know what? You're a bunch of cardboard cutouts on a movie scene. I'm not playing that game. I'm just not doing it. I'm not doing it. I'm out. And you find ways to get out. And, you know, everybody knows that watches me. My thing is, take my energy out of that system. I'm not playing in that casino. If we have a Litecoin summit in Vegas this year, you're not going to see me sitting at the poker table playing with their poker chips. No, I'm going to be giving big hugs. That's what I'm going to do, because I want to sit at the bar and have a conversation like this at happy hour with everybody. I don't want to sit there and waste my life thinking I'm going to get, enrich myself with their fake money. No, because it's just fake. It's an illusion. No, the real wealth that you have in this life is other people. It's reconnecting with the spirits that, like Lisa and I, like, Mitch and I, like these people that we meet. It invigorates us, and it keeps us going, and realizes, you know what? There's more to life.
If I put other music behind it, do you think it won't get
bashed? You need to play the Magic Sword. That reminds me of the Magic Sword. Remember?
Oh, maybe so.
This is like when I was managing a dance club in 1999. $1 bills, y'all. $5 bills now.
I thought that was
Hey,
we gotta go.
Here's my Terra Luna.
It's late. All the Terra Luna out to the feet.
But Litecoin will remain. All right. Love y'all. Trust yourselves. Always.